seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I've felt a lot of women who refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money and whatever else you bring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Guitar Players Planet. 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 Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the land of the new. Oh, na 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 na.
All right. Where is he? Am I the only one here?
Where am I?
Where are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I just can't see you.
I see it on the stream.
This is funny. This is funny.
This is not funny.
I don't see you on YouTube or on Melon. This is funny.
Yeah. I don't know why the issue is. Oh, you disappeared. Your green screen.
Yeah, my green screen. I cranked up the opacity real quick, but then I cranked it back down. The fade intensity. What's up, everybody? It is time.
There we go.
It is Friday.
Hey, what's going on?
There it is.
I just had to refresh my screen.
What's
And
going on, brother?
I found out something cool. So if I refresh the screen, it doesn't shut off the stream. So that's nice.
That's good.
So yeah, so if we have any issues, I can just restream it and it'll all reset. So awesome. Hi. There can only be one. I love it. I was just talking about the McLeod name and everything. It was great. I love it.
Oh, yes.
Love
Connor
it.
McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
You can't die, Connor. You're immortal. That was my Spanish version of Sean Connery.
Oh, Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez.
Hello, Jim. Hello, Evan. Hey, Frank.
We got people.
Mark.
We got
George.
people on. What's going on?
Josh. What's happening?
Oh yeah, Ascom came out with a new version. That's going to be pretty cool. Hopefully, that's something that hopefully will fix anything that everybody has any issues, especially with the newer drivers. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, ASI Air actually brought out an update as well because there were some issues with it screwing around with the previous release, causing issues with the mount and also with imaging and capturing. So they recognized it. They pushed out a new version. I haven't downloaded it yet because I've got all of my scopes indoors right now and they're not online. So, but I know as soon as I get them back out there, it'll be I'll get it all upgraded.
Eric is highly undersampled.
I am highly undersampled.
It's the green screen action. I think that is. He needs better lighting on the green screen. I think.
Probably so.
Yeah, you got like the old like Atari kind of skull going. It's like pixelated on top.
No, I kind of see it. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, if you just get some lighting, just not on you. You look fine. The green screen behind you.
Yeah,
that will make the difference between you and the green screen. And just get.
I finally got the green screen back out, and I'm actually being able to use it. So it's just a little bit, give me a little bit of time to figure a few things out. It'll be all good.
Yeah, and make sure the green screen is like totally like straight and pulled down, and no wrinkles.
No wrinkles. This thing has got all kinds of stuff.
They sell something from. It's a company called Valera green screens, and it's a rollaway. It's like a zip roll, and it pulls up and it pulls down. It goes into this little thing. That's what I'm using now, and it works great. It's got a pole and it's totally portable, and you just throw it anywhere. And it's about
if I could afford an RTX card, man, I'd be crypto mining like crazy right now.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's $1,000 card.
Yeah, I don't have $1,000 card. Well, when I bought the card,
everybody's buying them for mining.
What do I got? A 2080, I think.
Well, that's still an RTX. A 2080 is still an RTX.
Yeah, it's still going for $900 online.
Yeah, but see, that's ridiculous. And
I got this pre-COVID. Me and Jason put.
That's so one of your Schmitz.
There you go. Sell your Edge for a video card. Be all right.
Let me sell the Edge for a video card.
You already dumped all your refractors. I mean,
I know, right? I should just give this whole thing up like Queeve did. Just walk away, just like Queeve did. You know what? Sell everything.
Queeve needs a break. He has done so much good stuff for this community that I could only hope. I aspire to do that. You know what I mean? But he is just amazing, and the videos that he does are great. So I mean, he deserves a break. The crypto mining needs to stop. Never thought of using it for mining. Yeah, I mean, that's something.
That's one of the big things now with these new video cards, these new graphics processing units, is that they're using them for crypto mining. So but let's not get into computer stuff.
Right I never understood crypto mining anyway. So I got to show everybody something quick, and this is something about the raffle that we're going on. We got a $5 raffle going on for the Neptune C2 Player One camera for planetary. Basically, I think it's like a $290, to be honest with you, if I remember right. It's a $300 camera. We're getting a $5 raffle. But I'm
Okay.
going to show you what the wheel looks like right now. And this is not a fun wheel like the one that I did on the last round. This is an actual wheel. So this is what we're at. This is where we're at right now as far as the wheel is concerned. I'll get it up for you. And where is it? Over here, Neptune cam. Yeah.
Yeah, the 3090 is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I just don't get it. I understand there's, right now with the chip shortage and everything, that everything is getting jacked up, but come on, guys. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'll share that. I'll delete tab. I have too many windows open. There we go, Neptune.
Too many windows.
Yeah, way too many windows open. I gotta move this one over here. I got two monitors and I'm not using them. So hold on a second.
So I'm kind of curious because, me and you right now, we're going to be suffering for at least probably a week with bad weather. I'm kind of curious, has anybody been able to recently within the audience, has anybody recently been able to image? And if so, what has been their project right now? I'm kind of curious to hear what people's projects have been recently, if they've been able to do any imaging, because right now we've got these storms and stuff coming through, through like the Midwest, the Southeast, it's heading up to the north.
Yep, it's coming right for us.
Yes, heading right for you guys. Yeah, Frank, it's clear here now, but we just got 50-mile-per-hour winds.
Well, he's about 15 or 20 miles to the east of me.
Okay.
So my door is banging. My screen door is banging back and forth with the wind, and 30 degrees, not so bad, clear as a bell right now.
Okay.
25-mile-an-hour gusts. I'm not doing anything, So it's not good. It's not good. But here you go. So this is the actual wheel that I have right now. So here you go. Take a look at this.
I think it's rigged. I think there's an unfair advantage here by someone.
So Mark Ellis bought 10 chances. I capped it at 10. And we have one other person that bought a $5 chance, Chris. So that's where we're at right now. But again, just so everybody knows, it's a $5 chance. You can buy up to 10 chances. And we're going to be doing the drawing, and I'll put it across. I'll get rid of this guy. We'll stop share, and we'll go like this. And
okay.
I'll put the slider on here real quick because I made a new slider. So the drawing will be on February 11th.
No, so it's not too late to buy in. It's not too late to buy in there.
Yeah, so it's February 11th. We're gonna be doing the drawing. I believe it's a Friday night. Max out at 10 chances, and if you want, you could PayPal me right there.
Gideon's asking, how long can we buy in for? Until when's the deadline? When's the cutoff for buying in?
The deadline is going to be the day of the show. So it's a Friday night. So 7 p.m. Friday night, the 11th is the last. That's it. We're cutting off.
I agree, George. Yeah, Mark would be so pissed if Christopher wins.
well, let me tell you something. We had a couple of 3 chancers that bought on the last one. And Ernie Jacobs won it, and he only bought one.
He only had one.
So with this, I love this thing. So there's no and it's live, and you do it, and there's no it's not like a rigged thing. I don't know how to. There's a website that actually who is it that turned me on to it? Sean Nielsen turned me on to it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I did it for my raffle. Just do it." I said, "Okay, cool."
It's easy to use. It's it's fun.
You just put the names in, you click the button,
and there you go. Is it riggable? Absolutely not.
If it is, I don't know how to do it, so I guess it really doesn't matter. So, so Evan's asking what it is. So, this is the Neptune C Player One planetary camera. It's a fairly newcomer to the game. I don't remember. Somebody split off from another company and started this company, and I forget who and which company they were from. But it's a slight. It's used only once for testing. Okay,
Mhm.
so and it's a really nice camera. It's like a 290. It's got the same chip,
Okay.
and it's made for planetary, so it's pretty good. Player One Astronomy, look it up. It is a Chinese cam, just so everybody knows, just like ZWO and all the rest of them.
Yep.
And it also comes with the 1.25 inch UV IR cut filter.
Nice.
So there you go, $5, $300 camera. There you go.
It's like my beloved country doesn't care about our hobby. Everything's coming out of China.
Telling you. Well, I wouldn't even go to why that happened because I'm not even getting into that.
Yeah, I know.
It's not all Chinese. Some of them are other places, but most of them are Chinese.
Yeah.
No, I would say
It's not Japan,
95%.
that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure.
No.
But actually, somebody said that they had some questions on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Gideon, I think, said that.
Yeah, I mean this is Friday. Friday is Q&A.
Yep.
Newbie stuff. So if you've got a question, go ahead, pop it in here into the chat. Pop it onto Facebook. Where else are we? Do you have the Discord up right now as well?
Discord is up. We're live on Discord. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Twitch. And 3 different Facebook pages and Camera Concepts also page too. So we're live on all of it. So I'm looking to see those questions. Gideon Sanders commented on your post in AstroWorld TV 2 hours ago. So let's see. Okay, here we go. First question from Gideon Sanders.
All right.
Why is an object near the North Celestial Pole easier to track than an object in the direction of the south near the celestial equator? For example, with my unguided red cat on a sky guider, I could get 3 minutes on M8182, which is more or less north, with relative ease. However, getting 90 seconds unguided on M42 is relatively difficult. How come the apparent speed of objects seems to differ based on their place in the sky? That's an interesting question.
That's a very interesting question.
That is an interesting question. Well, I think there's actually, maybe I'm reading this incorrectly, Eric, and, maybe you can kind of clarify. I see 2 separate questions here. One is tracking, guiding, because you talk about guiding first with one and then untracked with the other. So that being said, untracked, let's go with the untracked first of all. You said 90 seconds unguided on M42 is relatively difficult. I'll tell you, unless if you have a MIT or something like that, 90 seconds unguided is going to be difficult on anything.
And anything, yeah. Because it's usually an average unguided for most averages is like 30 seconds.
Depending on the mount and the scope,
on the mount, 30 to 60, 30, 45 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, if you have like a 2,000 millimeter scope, I think he said it was a red cat anyway. I think he
said both examples. He says he's got both examples were unguided. And what was he saying? No, he said you read it. You read the question correctly. It's all unguided, but he says both are unguided. They're both unguided.
Okay.
So why do you have better tracking or better? You can do longer exposure. Gideon, where are you located? Just out of curiosity, I'm not sure where are you located.
Gideon's in Holland, I think.
Okay.
Because I made fun of me and Gideon have this kind of like love-hate relationship. I keep on throwing him in different parts of the world.
Yeah, okay, so you're in the Netherlands, you're 452, so you're higher north. So yep. I'm thinking it's because of your location, you being high, a higher
higher latitude.
A higher latitude. And over towards the North Pole, that could have something to do with it. It possibly could.
Yeah, let me throw something in there now. Now, when you're closer, okay, so this really, all this unguided stuff has to do with your accuracy of your polar alignment, and that's all it has anything to do with. Okay, so the closer you are to the pole, the more forgiving your error in your polar alignment is going to be, because you're closer to the pole. Exactly like so. So let's say this is a pole, and this is your object. Now you're close to the pole, right? So the error isn't going to be noticeable or less noticeable closer to the pole. As you get
Which
further
makes
away
sense.
from the pole, the parallax error gets huge coming outside the pole because you're making a bigger arc. You're making a bigger arc. So if your polar alignment isn't dead on, your error will increase as you move further from the pole.
Move further from the pole.
That's,
what's up, Bloodstone? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. What do you got back there, Eric? What is that?
Actually, this is the Tulip Nebula.
It's a tulip. Okay, I couldn't. Okay, there you go. There it is.
It's the Tulip Nebula.
There it is. So it's not necessarily that things aren't necessarily moving faster. They move at the same rate. It's all sidereal rate. It's just because of the error of your polar alignment, they seem to move quicker because the error is greater as you move further away from the pole.
Gotcha.
So that's my understanding. I could be making this whole thing up, but I don't think so. The logic is the further away you get from the center, the greater your error is going to be because you're not polar aligned accurately enough. That's what.
So so in the bottom line, it ties a lot to your polar alignment errors.
Polar alignment and also the mount. I mean, certain mounts could overcome little polar alignment errors.
Gotcha.
You know, because of the gearing and the accuracy of the mount.
Yep.
Radial velocity. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's it. So Bloodstone. I forget who Bloodstone is. Bloodstone. Let me know your name. I forget who that is. I know you. Don't hurt me.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I actually took this with this is actually I used the 533 on this one.
That's awesome. That's the square.
Yeah, it's the square. Yeah, yep.
Dylan. All right.
It is. So yeah, no, this is with the square sensor. So no amp glow, none of that stuff. The one when we were talking about, videos, the one that's getting the most hits right now off of AstroWorld is my 533.
If you're thinking about getting the 533,
love it.
Go check out Eric's video either on his own channel at Astro with Eric, or AstroWorld. You can get to his site right through AstroWorld because he is a contributor to AstroWorld, and you could go check it out directly on AstroWorld or directly on his site. It doesn't matter. They'll both get it. So, hey, Sean just showed up. How you doing, Sean?
What's up, Sean?
What's going on? What's up? And we're talking a little bit and maybe you guys could come in on this maybe a little bit. The question for the night from Gideon Sanders out in the Netherlands was, why is an object near the North Celestial Pole easier to track than objects far away from it? And that's the basic kind of question. Why can I get a couple of minutes on something that's closer to the pole than I can't get less of something that's further away from the pole?
Yeah, when you're facing towards the south. Yep.
So
yeah. I you know what? For the 533, there's certain cameras that match up so well with certain scopes. And with my RASA 8, the 533 and the 183 are probably the two best cameras that match up really well to that scope. I mean, my 294, it works well, but I think the 533 is better with that smaller sensor and that smaller square sensor. I think it's a lot better. And same thing with the 183. The 183 is a small sensor.
Yeah, it is a small sensor, but you know what? The no amp glow. If you want to get an entry level camera with the no amp glow, and yes, me personally, I don't. It's an aesthetic. I just don't like the square
The
sensor.
square sensor, right?
I just don't like it. I like the widescreen, kind of the regular
I
normal.
personally like the more traditional rectangular, sensor, but this square one's awesome. Like I said, it matches really, really well with the Rasa.
You had a question real quick from Dylan. What bin do you use with the 294 and the Rasa, if any?
Oh, okay. With the color, I use bin 1, and if I'm using the mono, it's bin 2, which is basically the same as bin 1 on the color.
Yeah, the resolution.
So yeah. So yeah, and with the 533, it's always been 1.
Yeah, everyone's saying just Sean want to come on the show. Sean, you're more than welcome to come on the show if you want to. If you're not doing anything, you want to hang out, feel free to
Yeah,
come and hang out
you're always welcome,
same
man.
thing with you, same thing with you, Dylan. If you want to come on, hang out. I'll give you the link.
Yeah.
But
No, like I said, it's always the right tool for the right job.
yeah, and you know what? Let's talk about that for a second, because that's something that comes up a lot. I didn't mean to cut you off, Eric. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But that comes up a lot with what camera do I get? And we talk about it probably, I want to say, like at least once a month on the beginners Q&A show.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2:30 here. I can't do anything. But let's see. I'm just reading as I go. But there are some tools to help you.
Yep, absolutely.
When you're dealing with this, and Eric makes up a good point. You really want to match up your camera to the telescope that you have, or the camera you have to the telescope that you're going to get, or if you have already.
Right.
So you don't want to just go, I was talking about this to a guy yesterday at the store and saying, hey, you know what? The bad thing about astrophotographers is that a lot of them, including myself, are impulse buyers.
We are.
We're total impulse buyers. We're like, oh my God, this toy, you gotta get it. And that's some of the things that you gotta pull in the reins just a little bit. And you gotta say, okay, you know what? Because the last thing you want to do is spend $2,000 on a camera that's no good for the scope you just got.
Right. And here's one thing, and this is a perfect example, because I have heard I've heard positives, and I've heard a lot of, but I've heard some positives, but I've also heard quite a few negatives with pairing the Rasa, with the 2600, one-shot color with that APS-C sensor.
Okay, and what are the qualms about it?
Well, for one, with the Rasa being so much smaller, you've got I think there's issues with sampling.
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest one. And with all the Rasa 8s, pretty much, this is just one of the things that come with the Rasa 8 is the tilt. But I think the tilt is even more pronounced.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of the edges, I think it's even more pronounced with that larger APS-C sensor.
Yeah, I've seen the on cloudy nights. I've seen the tilt complaints quite a bit. It's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, you got people coming out with all different things to try to figure out how to fix the tilt of a Rasa 8.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. You got people making stuff like there was this octopi that I saw. I don't know what the heck that is.
A piece of paper, some felt, all this kind of stuff.
I mean, and like for me, I ended up getting the Arteski.
Yep.
Which is basically a replacement flange.
Oh, okay.
It's that you actually can put your filter in that, and it basically replaces. And it's basically metal on. It puts it metal on metal, because one of the things is that I guess it's the flange or whatever that you would put that comes with the Rasa 8. It has felt on the back of it. It has this felt on the back of it, and it throws things off.
Yeah, you got to peel it off.
Yeah. So the first time I actually took the stuff off, and then I throw it in, and then I threw it into what is it, AS tap or S tap?
S tap, yeah, sure.
Yeah. and my tilt, was super improved.
Nice.
With going that route. Now I don't know, because even with me using the Star Arizona filter
Okay.
slider, didn't
Yep.
help.
Oh wow. Okay.
It didn't help. And sometimes I think it made it a little bit worse. But using the Arteski filter holder for the Rasa 8 and put in replacing the Celestron flange and using the Arteski and then screwing that in, I think it's been great.
Awesome.
I really do. I really do.
And just talking about tilt and all that kind of stuff, maybe we could show CCD Inspector because if you download the new version of ASTAP, they do have a tilt and curvature map on it, but it's not CCD Inspector anymore.
No, they did
gone.
their own.
Don't download the new version of ASTAP for plates for not plate solving, for tilt and curvature right now.
Yeah,
it's a little weird now.
Yeah.
So if you have the old version, keep it. Put it to the side, and then you keep on upgrading your ASTAP if you use it for plate solving, because it's awesome for plate solving. It's really great. But if you have the old version, keep it. Put it to the side. Put it on another hard drive, something, and hold on to it.
Right.
And the upgrade for your plate solving and point it to another directory.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and that's on the 8, Dylan. Yeah.
Yep.
Those are so for sure.
So let's take a look. I think it was oversampling with the 8. If I remember, it was a lot of bloat
with the 2600.
Yeah, a lot lot of bloat on that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's oversampling. So he wasn't getting blocky stars, which would be a significant undersampling. He was getting bloated. Expanded.
Yeah, that's one of the things that that I was hearing about. So it's all about that suitability.
Yeah, I actually got it right here, and I'll put it on the screen for you. And here it is. Show on stream. There we go. So for those of you that don't know what we're talking about here, for you newbies or people that just want to know a little bit more, astronomy.tools. It's a freeware. It's a web-based program that could do a couple of things for you. Number one, it could square out the field of view for you. So what your chip, what your camera, what everything looks like. So
actually, I stand corrected. Well, at least right now, if you have poor seeing, it's supposed to be good. Your resolution is only 1.94 arc seconds per pixel.
Okay.
With poor seeing. So, but it's something else. It's something that people have not been liking with the 2600, pairing the 2600 with the Rasa. Some people, they like it. Some people just have not been really pleased with it.
And Pete jumped in.
Hey, boys.
Hey, Pete.
What's going on? I'll tell you, I think we figured this whole thing out. We didn't have any issues. We have one slight issue with my video driver for about 2 seconds, and then I figured it out. So,
oh, that's good.
I think we're good. No crazy sounds, no nothing. But right now we're just talking about astronomy.tools. And maybe Pete, maybe you're really good with this stuff because Gideon from the Netherlands had a nice little question. I'll read it for you.
He said he's got quite a few questions for you.
Yeah, I do. I got another one. I see it. But here's the first question, and you can see it on the screen. Why is an object near the North Celestial Pole easier to track than an object in the direction of the south or near the equator? For example, with my unguided red cat on a sky guider, I can get 3 minutes on M8182 with relative ease. However, getting 90 seconds unguided on M42 is relatively difficult. How come the apparent speed of the object seems to differ as you get further away from the pole?
Oh, that's easy.
I said my answer already, but I want to see what you say.
Well, basically, we're talking about circumpolar, right?
Yes.
I mean, the closer you get to the pole, we got a much smaller radius of turning. As compared to being at the equator, you got such a long arc. And that's exactly the whole secret. Yep. So Dan, you got it, Dan.
I am not as dumb as I look, fellas. I am not as dumb as I look. So
no, absolutely.
So let me. So just so we go a little further with this all has to do with how accurate your polar alignment is at this point, because the further away you get from the pole, the bigger of an error you're going to have, correct?
So one question that he didn't answer is, what is the vocal length? I mean, is he talking about a
It's a
vocal length?
red cat at 250 millimeters.
Okay, so basically with that red cat, that's such a wide field of view that unless he's pixel peeping, he's not going to really see any of his arcs. I mean, if you pixel peep, yeah, you're definitely going to see some egg-shaped stars.
Yeah, you will.
But with that wide field of view, just looking at the overall image, you'll be really hard pressed to see any basically trailing.
Yeah, he's also trying to do 3 minutes unguided on a sky guider.
On what mount though?
On a sky guider.
Oh yeah. Because once again, all he can do is just track in RA, right?
Correct. One axis.
Yeah, one axis.
Yep. So good. All right. So I didn't give out crap information, everybody. That's awesome.
Well, this is what, and as like Eric can contest, this is the think tank right here.
This is.
It is.
This is why I love the Friday show, because it's Q&A. We add, throw questions at us. We we just brainstorm. We think about stuff. Even other people come in, through the chat, who have, maybe had that experience or have that answer that we may not have, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have all the answers. I know that for darn sure.
Oh, me too.
Trust me, nobody has all the answers.
Nobody has all the answers, especially when it comes to this stuff.
There's always somebody smarter than yourself.
Oh, trust
There's
me.
a lot of people smarter than me.
I'm just saying, just like there's always.
I've got a woman right upstairs who's way, way smarter than me.
Oh man, you just got an extra $500 on the observatory right there. That's
Oh.
Hey, you know what I was just thinking, which would be kind of cool to maybe do as a Q&A period. I mean, maybe not tonight, but maybe in the near future. Remember when we were talking about having people post their images?
Yes. Yeah.
And basically, as we can kind of say, we're not going to be critiques or anything, but we can just say, looking at this, what we find pleasing, what we don't find pleasing, and what recommendations that we could do. Maybe that might be a nice kind of a nice.
Yeah. If people share your photos. Put them on Facebook, put them on the AstroWorld TV Facebook page, for us to check them out. I think it would be a great thing,
You know what you could do? Everybody can email them right there.
Well, let me ask you this. Do they have like a share? I mean, I know we have the share, but do they have the share where they could actually post their image right there, real time?
I could get them on with us and they could share their screen, or they could email to me and I could show it on the screen either way.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? You think that might be a good topic for maybe in a couple of weeks?
I think it's
a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, what do you guys think? I want to hear from the audience out there. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Jane at Astronomy Notebook said that's a good idea. Gideon's already asking if we want a picture.
Do you want to do it tonight? I mean, do you want to post that up as a?
Hey, if anybody wants to send me a picture right now, send it to that email right at the bottom of the screen, and we can put it on the screen and we can talk about it. So let me know what's not on YouTube.
No, as I said, when we do this, we're not trying to be critical or anything. We're just saying is in our opinion, what we personally, because each of us are going to have a different opinion, but
exactly.
It's that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So it's just that if we do see a certain things that we know is mechanical that we can definitely give some advice to, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
And we're really looking for, I think we're looking for images that you as the artist may think that there's a problem with. Not these awesome images that we have nothing to say. It's just going to be beautiful. And then, okay, we go on to the next one.
Yeah.
But images, if this is, again, remember, this is a beginner's show.
Exactly.
So put the images up there. And you know what? If you don't want us to say your name, that's okay. We don't have to say your name. That's fine. It'll be completely confidential, and we'll just throw it up there, and you'll know it's you because it's yours.
Yeah.
So
I saw Gideon had another question about flatteners.
He does.
Okay.
And, can you tell me more about flatteners and reducers for astrophotography? Why do you need them?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need them?
Yes.
Yes. Let's get the rest.
Let's get to it.
Yes, you do need it, especially with a refractor. But the WO adjustable flatteners, what is it exactly you can adjust? I'm looking into the FLT 91 or 120 at the end of the year.
Okay, great scopes.
How do you know which flattener reducer goes with which scope? Do they all have 55 millimeter back focus? Can I also use a Barlow? There's a lot of questions.
Okay, here's a couple of things.
You can Eric, take one of them.
Okay, I'm going to take a couple of things. When it comes to the flattener reducers or flatteners, when it comes to William Optics is by far, for me, I'm being biased, my favorite refractors. Okay, and I've had them in the past. I had 3 of them in the past. When you can purchase these, William makes adjustable flatteners and reducers. The reason why is because they're versatile. He makes them so you can, he made it so it can be used on many of his other different scopes. Okay. So the FLT 91, the FLT 132, the GT 81, the GTZ, the GT 71, you can use his, say, the flat 6A3, which is the newest version of the 0.8 reducer flattener. You can use it on many of Williams' different scopes, and you can use it on other scopes too. You can use it on other types of scopes. But the cool thing about when you're buying it from William Optics, he also gives, if you go to Williams' website, that he gives you the spacing, the distance that you need to place depending on the scope you're using. Okay, so for example, with an FLT 91, using a flat 6A3, I think the back focus, I think the spacing is like 5 millimeters. On others, it would be a little bit different. But as far as the back focus or the back spacing, it's always going to be 55 millimeters with his stuff. That's pretty much been the standard. It doesn't matter if it's a ZWO, doesn't matter if it's a DSLR. His back spacing is 55 millimeters from that first set of optics. And that includes the reducer. So when you hit that first piece of glass on that flattener reducer, that spacing, that's why he has it set up. That's 55 millimeters. Okay.
And just to add to that too, Eric, is what a flattener really does is that with refractors, you're going to get field curvature. Without a field flattener, you're going to get field curvature where the center of your image is going to be flat, but on the image, on the edges, you're going to notice that you're going to get elongation. So that's the purpose of actually having a flattener. So for refractors, yes, you definitely want to get a refractor. The reducer basically is going to reduce the focal length. And at the same time, it's going to reduce the focal ratio. Now, with the reducers, those are really more important when you do astrophotography, and it's not important when you come to visual. So that's exactly, so the case in point, all the Meade scopes and all the Celestron scopes, all are native F10. Very slow for doing astrophotography. So typically, you'll get their 6.3 reducer, which will drop that focal ratio down to 6.3. But remember, it's also going to reduce the focal length by that same 0.63.
Yep, it is. Yeah.
We got about 4 pictures here.
That's a good choice then.
So I'm downloading them still. So continue with the.
Okay.
Well, question: We're not. Are we live yet, or are we just? It's
no, we're live.
Oh, we are live. Oh, okay.
We're chatting.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm thinking it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah. No, we're live. This ain't Memorex. This is live.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's 5. I'm still on daylight time. What can I say?
So you definitely, when you're doing astrophotography, you want a flattener or a reducer for astrophotography. You don't need it for visual.
Yep.
This is strictly for astrophotography, Gideon. So you want to get that. Doesn't matter what brand of refractor or apochromatic refractor you get. You want to get a flattener, but if you want to get at least a flattener to maintain the native focal length of your scope. Now, if you want to go a little bit wider, then you can get the reducer, and most of those reducers are at a 0.8, so 80%, or some are 7. It just depends, or 0.7, and that's going to reduce your focal length, down by that much, by that 0.8 or 0.7. Barlow's, you are the exact opposite. They make things, you get a higher magnification. You don't really see them very much with refractors. I mean, you can use them, but usually in my experience, when I am, using a Barlow, when I'm using a Barlow, I'm using it with one of my Schmidts and I'm using it for planetary. Okay. Because, I want to get that higher magnification because I've already got this long focal length. I've got an f10, but now when I'm adding a Barlow, now I'm going either f20 or f25. So it's much slower, but I'm getting that higher magnification because I want that to get those planets. And so I can do those videos of planets.
And along with that too, it's interesting is you'll hear different terminology. Case in point, one of the terms is like prime focus. And there's a lot of confusion that goes when people make reference to saying, well, that prime focus. What prime focus is that it doesn't incorporate a reducer or flattener. So literally, it's just the scope, the native vocal ratio, and the native vocal length. Mm-hmm. And that's the term that you'll hear is at prime focus. Now, when you start talking about a reducer or flattener, that, especially with the reducer, as Eric was saying, is it'll make the changes on the vocal ratio and the vocal reducer. So if you're ever dealing with people who are talking to you and they say, well, are you using this at prime focus? You'll definitely know that it's just meant at the prime focus and vocal length of the scope that you bought.
Yep. Now, Gideon, he's also asking, why would you want to reduce the native focal length on an FLT91? It's at f5.9. Yep. The big one, it'll make, if you're going down, I believe you go down to like f4.6 or 4.7. So you're able to, so it's a little bit faster. So you're shortening your exposure time. Okay, so it's a little bit faster, and you're able to get, a wider field of view. Okay, when you're adding on those reducers, you're opening up that field of view so you can get much more much more signal onto that chip. Okay.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here right now. Okay.
But personally, I might just get a flattener because, if I'm getting the FLT91.
That's where I was going. And I am one that hates to give up focal length. I hate it. I can't.
I get aperture fever. Why do you think I get these Schmidts now?
Yeah, well, eventually I'll get my 9 1/4 by like 2027 or whenever they decide to get here. But the whole thing is that I have my 80 millimeter Esprit.
Yep.
400 millimeter focal length. I love it. Thank God the Esprit comes with a 1.0 flattener. It doesn't come with a reducer. It comes with just a flattener. Okay, so. Fine, no problem. Why would I want to go down to 290? I may as well just get a red cat. So, so that being said, okay, now I go to the 127, right? So that's 952 millimeter focal length. Okay, so why would I want to go down to approximately 700 millimeters, getting a 0.8 reducer?
Dan, I'm going to throw this out to you because you got a very valid point. But let's take a target like, say, Simius 147, the Spaghetti Bowl Nebula.
Well, okay, I'm going to go back at you on that one, but okay, go ahead.
So case in point, like if you go to Blackwater Skies and you say, okay, I wanted to get my field of view, but I want to see exactly what my field of view is going to look like looking at that particular target.
Right.
Anything greater than 400 millimeters, you're not going to be able to get that target within the field of view. So if I had a scope that was a 600 millimeter scope and I said I went with a reducer that would get me down to say maybe 380. Now I've got the best of both worlds that if I wanted to capture that target or NGC 7000, the North American Nebula, that would give me the opportunity that I would not have to buy a completely separate scope for just that field of view. I could just incorporate the reducer to give me that field of view specific for those targets that would fit in there. So you're right. It's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Yeah. And this is when it comes out to be, I'm going to beat Jason right now, being the lazy guy right now. So I hear what you're saying. You get the flatten, you get the reducer, you get a wider field of view, and there are a couple of benefits to reducers, not flatteners. I'm sorry. So there are a couple of benefits: faster exposure, less exposure time, wider field of view. To me, that's a negative, but that's another story altogether. But the whole thing is now when you're taking photos, you're taking everything apart to put this reducer back in your image frame. What do you got to do? I got to take new flats. I'm not doing it. That's why I have a 400 millimeter scope, which will fit.
Well, hold on, Dan. We have to tell the audience that if you've got 5 or 6 scopes, how many shoes now have you allowed your wife to buy?
Way too many.
Because look
Way
at
too
what you
many.
got, so I'm buying my shoes.
As much as she wants. so I have right now. So I have a gap right now in my scopes. I have a gap. I got a 400. I got 952, and then I jump to an 18-inch obsession. So there's a big jump there as far as focal length is concerned. The 18-inch obsession is probably about 2,000. I think it's about 2,000 millimeters also. But it's a Dob, so it's humongous.
Yeah.
And it's not really, and I'm sure you guys will agree, a Dob is not the recommended scope to be doing astro imaging with, by any means. Unless you got a tracking platform or a servo CAD or something like that in order to make things trackable. A Dob, unless if you're doing planetary, which you can do a lot of planetary with a Dob, you just let it drift across the screen, I guess. That's why I'm looking for like Eric has. But I don't want an edge. I don't want a Rasa, because that just gives me another 400 millimeter scope.
Yeah.
Even though it's an f2, and I'll get that picture a lot faster than what is it, f5 or 5.5 for the Esprit, whatever it is.
Yep.
It'll get a lot faster, but it's the same scope visually. It's the same field of view. I'm not changing the camera, so it's just a big difference. Eric's making fun of me now. He goes from 600 to 2,800.
That's what Mark is. Yeah, it's me. Going from the Rasa, I've got the F. Basically the Rasa and my Edge 8, they're the same thing. It's just one is, kind of has a hyperstar. With the Rasa, it's 400, but then I can go from F2 to F7 to F10, and then beyond. If maybe once Star Arizona brings out some night owls, I might get a night owl, and I'm, may throw that in there, and give that a go. So then I can go down to F4, so I can go, so I can have a lot more versatility. That's one of the things I love about the Schmitz. But Gideon was asking a question about the Esprit and the FLT 91. Is an FLT 91, would it be the equivalent of a 100 Esprit? Yeah, if you're talking, if it's very close, if you're talking about focal length, yes, because the FLT 91 has a focal length of 540. The FLT is 550.
Yeah.
Okay. They both use the same optics, FLP, FPL 53 glass for optics. So they are very similar in those aspects, but the FLT 91 is about $1,000 less. Just saying. The FLT 91 is about $2,000, and the Esprit is about 3,200. I'm just saying.
Well, the 120 is 3,200.
No, you sure? Because I'm actually looking at Skywatcher and the Esprit.
Well, in all fairness, they all just raise their prices.
Yeah, they always raise their prices. So there you go.
In all fairness, so when I bought my 120, it was 3,200, 3,299.
I think also that you have I think the in my opinion, from just, and like I said, I'm biased because I love Williams stuff. I think it has a better. I think the Floral Star has a better focuser. I think its RMP focuser is a little bit better. So there's that. He's got some more questions here.
Yep. Yeah. So the Esprit 120 went up to 4,200.
Yeah, see, everything's
So-
going up.
So that's almost an $800 increase from when I bought mine about a year and a half ago. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, let's. So as far as Gideon's questions,
He's
I
got
think
one.
that-
What is declination drift and how to prevent it?
ooh, goody.
Ooh, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys have that one.
Well, let's see here. Declination drift. It's interesting. Is you get polar alignment and you've got your star, and you're ready to take the image, and all of a sudden you start to notice that in the field of view, it's just starting to slowly kind of move, and you're going, "What the hell's going on here?" I mean, I've got everything torqued down. I can't do this. I'm just, and it drives you nuts. It drives you nuts because you just don't understand why you're getting this slow kind of motion. And that's when you got to play detective to find out, usually it's not in RA. It's going to always be in declination.
Mm-hmm.
And so typically what you always want to do is, this is the key about doing your initial balance.
Yes.
Everybody says you want to do slightly east heavy. Whatever is on the east side of your tripod, you want to make just slightly east heavy.
Is that more dependent on the type of mount you have? Actually, is it more dependent on the type of mount or brand of mount versus? Does the mount have that type of? Does the type of mount you have play a part in this going more east heavy?
Yeah, well, typically what it is in the old days, we'd always want to, you never wanted to get it just perfectly balanced. Because what is happening is if you ever make it, there's two things. With RA, you want to make it, whatever on the east side, you make it slightly east heavy. The reason being is that on the east side, you're going to constantly putting the gears, they're going to engage. So typically when it's balanced, you're going to have your gears like this. But when you make it slightly east heavy, when I mean slightly east heavy, no more than about 1/4 of an inch. That's forcing now the gears to mesh. Same with declination. When you're doing your declination balance, you want to be just slightly back heavy because now you're going to engage the declination gears. So they're always going to be engaged. What happens with tracking is that, if you ever notice you're doing your guiding and it's not during a dither step, but all of a sudden you're guiding and you get that huge spike.
Yep.
And then you might get another spike for dithering, but you're trying to find out what's causing that spike prior to the dither.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is that when you're perfectly balanced, your gears aren't perfectly, they're not engaged. There's a bit of a lag on it. So what happens as soon as it starts to hit and engage, bingo, you get that big spike. And typically, if you get those spikes, then you're going to notice your image. You're always going to have that little elongation, and that's the symptom that you've got. So ideally, you always want to make sure that you're back heavy. So whenever you get perfectly balanced in declination, move it back about 1/4 of an inch and be slightly back heavy, because that will always keep that declination gear engaged.
So Pete, I mean, I actually, Frank actually beat me to the punch on this one. As far as belt-driven mounts, how does that theory work with belt-driven mounts? So is it still, because you're not meshing any gears together, you're on a belt and pulley type system?
Exactly, just with the gears, you want to be slightly east heavy and back heavy.
So because even on my EQ6R, which is a belt-driven mount, when I'm balanced dead on, when I'm just balanced, I get 0.4, 0.5 guiding on my EQ6R. And, I mean, I've always been a proponent of it, but on my EQ8R, I do balance a little bit east and back.
Yeah.
So because they're completely different types of mounts, so they may need a little touchy-feely. You may have to check and look and see on each different mount and play around with it as you go.
In case in point, you have to remember in the machining process, you got a worm gear and you got a gear wheel, right?
Yep.
Who's to say that when they do the quality control that they get all those burrs out? Do you have a little bit of dirt in there? Do you have a little bit of debris in there? So that worm now is not meshing with that gear. It's meshing up against the debris that's in there.
Yep.
And typically that's why you always do. You want to do maintenance at least a minimum of once a year on the mounts. especially if it's a gear-driven mount. So you can tear it apart and just say, hey, look at this. You know, you might want to clean it up and then lube it up and then put it back together. If people are mechanically inclined, mounts aren't really, the gear-driven mounts really aren't that hard.
No. You know, if Scott was here, I'm sure he'd be like this. Nothing beats a good grease. And don't use, if you're gonna grease up, if you're gonna lube up, if you're gonna take, number one, get a good desolvent. This is something I learned from Scott. Make sure you get all the old garbage off.
Yep.
And then make sure you use a high quality greaser when you re-lube the gears together. Don't go to your gas station. Go get some mobile oil and try and do something. Get a good quality grease.
You want some super lube.
Yeah, get something nice. So if you want some examples, I'd be happy to give some on the links later on.
Yeah.
But we actually have some more questions floating around. Man, this is like crazy question night.
Does the back heavy rule apply also to refractors and Newtonians? Does it apply more to either or? Astronomy Notebook is asking.
Yeah,
once again, just as I said, this isn't law. It's just a recommendation. Mm-hmm. As I said, in the middle of the night, there's a lot of times where I just don't think, okay, now I'm on the east side. I got to kind of move my counterweight up and counterweight down. What I try to do is I try to say, okay, if I got perfect balance, then I'm going to just slightly move it about 1/4 of an inch. If you can remember to do that as you're going through this process during like a meridian flip, as I said, it really corresponds to the gears and the worm gear mounts, because you always want to engage those gears. So regardless if it's Newtonian, it's a refractor, an SCT, if it's a gear-driven mount, you want to be just slightly back heavy. No question about it.
All right. Awesome. Let's see, Gideon, question number 2. I think this is question number 4, but question 2. On a Sky Guide or Red Cat combo, what should I reasonably expect in exposure time when I start guiding? 3, 5, or maybe even 7 minutes or less or more?
It all depends. One, making sure you got that polar alignment. That polar alignment is really important. You could. I've seen people, with a Sky Guide and a Red Cat, I've seen people get up to 5 and longer.
Yeah. I mean, I got to go with you, Eric. That polar alignment is going to be super critical.
That's going to be the big key. You're going to get well balanced.
Yeah, but you're going to get a nice little bit of forgiveness. And I always kind of do this with golf. It's kind of like using an offset club. You get it. Even if you miss it a little bit, you're going to be okay.
Yeah. Shouldn't we also ask him what's his Bortle skies?
That's a good question.
That's another one that can play a part.
Yeah,
because you may not want to go 7 minutes if you're imaging from my backyard. You don't want to be going anywhere near 7 minutes.
Right.
You don't want to be anywhere near 3 minutes. I mean,
with your skies now.
I got the worst skies out of anybody. The only person that doesn't have that has a worse sky than me is the person sitting on 42nd Street, right in the middle of the street. That's it. Jeez. But Josh said probably 5 minutes. I was getting decent 3 minutes with guiding with the sky. Okay, yeah. So 3 to 5, depending on, to Pete's point, 3 to 5 based on your sky quality. I think it will play a big part in what you're doing to your picture. Not the guiding, but what you're doing to the actual picture.
George is asking, how do you counter a large filter wheel throwing off the balance if you're
this guy, he has the same thing all the time.
That's a tough issue right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the tough issue, and I don't know really what the answer is to that, because you're trying to follow the guide rule, and sometimes you just got to get it as close as you can to balance at that point.
Yeah,
I'll tell them exactly what to do.
You know what? This is
don't do a meridian flip. Don't do a meridian flip. Just image half the night.
Yeah, or what you can't. Yeah, there you go. Or what they've got now is like Las Mandy has those small little 1 pound counterweights on that little DVA clamp that you can kind of move on the front end to be able to kind of give you that that balance. I forget what they're called. They're like a do you know what they're called, Eric? I can't remember what they're called, but they're just like
counterweights.
Yeah, what the little silver ones, right?
Yeah, just those little silver ones. We use those a lot on the plane waves on those mounts. Yeah, because you can slide them. Like on the plane wave, they're called a sliding counterweight assembly, and you'll have 3 counterweights. You'll have a 1 pound and a 5 pound and a 3 pound, and you can kind of move them.
And
you can,
because this is what I use with my Schmidt,
yeah, there we go.
Yep, I have something similar in there as well. Yeah,
and this works with a D. Works with a V or a D dovetail. And you can actually, roll it down to help with the at least your weight. But let me show it here better. Yeah, so there. So you can actually roll it down a bit. But if you have, something like this might be something to consider. Just since you're working with a, refractor, you may want to lower it down, maybe lower your weight down, or get a different type of weight if you can. Because I think this one's about maybe 2 or 3 pounds, something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So this one's a little heavy, and I don't know if it just depends on your refractor, of what what type of refractor you're using. But this may be something to consider. I mean, for my Schmidt, I put it on. This is my go-to, and it helps me out a lot.
and that they sell. Anthony over at ADM sells those. So if you want to check it out, ADM accessories. You check that out over there. It's not an expensive accessory by any means.
Nope, they're not. They're not at all. Yeah, so these are declination weights.
Yeah, so George is right. So the weight needs to be on the side, not on the top or the bottom. But as you're turned, the bottom of your dovetail is turned. Mm-hmm. So the weight's going to be coming out the bottom on the side. So
yeah. So this brings up another point with Newtonians and like the astrographs, the Takahashi Epsilon series.
Yep.
When I had my Epsilon 180, I never kept my camera at the 9 o'clock or the 3 o'clock position because it always run into that issue of balance. So I always kept it either at the 6 o'clock position or at the 12 o'clock position. And so I see some people with Newtonians where they kind of keep it at that 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, position, or like the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock position. I've always wondered with Newtonians, because I'm not a Newtonian person, how do they achieve balance with the camera assembly out at that 2 o'clock position?
This is where we need Tegan to come in because he is a nuke guy.
Yeah. Because I always thought that if you got it at the 12 o'clock or the 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, there's a possibility you might run your camera assembly into the tripod. Right. But if you kept it at the 12 o'clock position, you couldn't get up there unless you had like a little step ladder. But if you had everything running perfectly and you didn't have to physically look at anything, you could run it from a laptop. I think the 12 o'clock position would be the best position for that, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that, I'm not a new person. I don't use newts. So that's something that I wish Tegan was here for because he uses that pretty consistently and he can definitely shine some light on that. Maybe we can grab him maybe Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And revisit that.
Here's another good topic that we can talk about, which is kind of cool because you're right. With a lot of people that are coming in right now, we could really dedicate one night to talking about, there's really no perfect telescope. How many times do we get the call, well, I want the best telescope? And I'm going to say, well, it depends upon what it is that you want. But we could literally talk about astrographs, Newtonians, SCTs. Eric, you'd be phenomenal with the knowledge that you have on the Rosses to be able to contribute to that. Tegan can talk about the Newtonians. I can talk about plane waves. So literally we could make that as a topic maybe for an upcoming, session.
Yeah, because, I, even on cloudy nights, I see, and even on Facebook, you see questions or people who are new to astrophotography, but they end up getting some of the most expensive rigs, out there, like Ricci's and plane waves. And it's like, but you know what? It is a big learning curve, but if you have the patience to learn it, then it's like that, like Scott was always saying, buy once, cry once, so if you know if you know the type of astrophotography or the types of objects you want to image and you get a scope, and a camera setup, that works for that type of imaging, be it planetary, be it deep sky. So, if you want to just keep it simple and just do Milky Way and you want to get a DSLR, or what have you, that's entirely up to you. But the biggest thing I can say is one, don't give up. No matter what it is that you get, you will, if you get a Schmidt, or get something bigger that, may look a little intimidating, or people's like, why don't you just get a small refractor? So, yeah, a small refractor would be great, a great start. But if you decide that, what, I just want to go big and go big or go home, go for, what, hey, it's your money, but just do not give up on it. Learn, take the time to learn it. It may take you a few months, may take you a little bit longer than a few months, but just don't give up on it.
Yep. That's so true, Eric. That's so true.
I'm downloading the first picture now.
Oh, good.
And this first picture is a picture of M31. And let me get it open real quick.
Dennis said on a Newtonian, it's best to have that camera hanging underneath.
Oh, I think that's my
position then. Yeah.
I think that's my buddy Dennis from the Carolinas. He is an ex AO. Oh no, he's a continuing AOS member from New York. And
so in response to his question, then the fact that the Newtonian is so far forward, and if it's at the 6 o'clock position hanging down, he's not going to have an issue in the RRA movement of it hitting the tripod. So that makes a lot of sense, because then you can get balance on that Newtonian.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Here we go. First picture number 1. M31.
Okay. Great picture.
Loading.
Great pick, great target. Great target.
Let me get rid of
Zoom in here, let me see a little bit more.
Yeah.
For one, whose picture, whose camera, I would like to know the camera and who did this and the filter that was used.
I think I know what filter was used. Let's see. This was, go back. This was Gideon.
Okay. Awesome.
I don't see any specs on the camera yet. Maybe you can answer. There you go. Camera was a 183 MC Pro with no filter.
Oh, with no filter. Okay. One thing that you might, first off, great. I think it actually looks pretty good. Can you bring back the picture again? I like how the core looks pretty good. That's one of the big things with M31. Same with M42 are the cores. Those are the big things. Nice round stars.
Yeah, the stars are good. The background to me may be looking a little mottled from a little maybe aggressive on the noise.
On the noise reduction, yeah, you may be a bit aggressive there.
Maybe, but I mean, the star colors look pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
I love that the core is not blown out.
I love that the core's not blown out. I think that's awesome. One thing that I would recommend, Gideon, is to consider. It's entirely up to you. Maybe consider at one point, even with your 183 MC, maybe consider also getting at some point a hydrogen alpha filter.
Yeah, get the little
so you can get
the red splotches, like the red splotches in here.
Yeah, you can get the red splotches and everything. So can just consider that. Overall, right now, I think it looks good. Even the dwarf galaxy cores, everything. It looks for me, from just what I'm seeing right now, really well managed.
So the one thing I might ask is, I would love to know, because I do see a little bit of a brightness on this side as opposed to this side and up here. That could be part of the spiral arms, maybe just not getting enough. But
you're not getting enough of the spiral arms. Yeah,
but it also could be, without knowing the history of the picture, it also could be a slight issue with flats, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so, because it looks relatively flat across the field. The only other question that I would ask is, what's the black value on this picture? I like mine a little bit grayer than that black, I think. I try and run about a 10% gray. on the background. I'd be curious to know what the actual background is. But
Gideon, if I can make a suggestion that I see a beautiful image, and as like Dan and Eric said, the core isn't blown out. I see that your subs are at 90 seconds.
Yep.
I can see looking at the stars. The stars are nice, round, and tight, very good. But the stars are just a little bit overexposed, meaning that you don't have quite enough color in the stars, because that tells me that you're really pushing it to the full well capacity of each of those pixels. So what I would recommend that you do is maybe do like an HDR. For the core, do maybe like a 25 to a 30-second exposure for the core.
Mm-hmm.
And on the outside, push that up to about 120 seconds. And then once you get those two, then blend them together as an HDR, and you'll have the perfect star colors, and you'll have the core. That's what I would recommend. And anything that's like a high surface brightness target, like M42 and M31, because you'll overexpose at 90 seconds on the core. You could see the core, you're just about there, man. A little bit longer, you would have blown the core out.
Yeah.
But you can see the star colors are just a little bit too white.
Yeah, just so in case anybody doesn't know what Pete's talking about HDR composition, if you want to know a little bit more about it, take a look at our AstroWorld live video with Warren Keller. At about, I want to say, because I was asked about this before, about the 57-minute range, he shows us how to do an HDR composition with M42, but you could use the same process with this, just like Pete was talking about.
Yeah, you have, with the 183, you have a very small full well capacity. It's only like 15,000 electron. So that's why, you want to get those, you might want to consider like getting those shorter exposures for those stars. And try to push it a little bit. I would, you were saying you have the L Extreme. The L Extreme's quite red.
Yeah.
It is quite red. You can, depending on the post-processing software you use, you can extract the HA from there, and you could use it. I'm just going to let you know it is pretty intense.
And and just one other thing you could think about, and again, this is a quick, easy, dirty, sloppy way to fix the stars. But what you could do is you could take a couple of 30-second shots. Forget about what the galaxy looks like.
Yeah.
Take a couple 30-second shots and then stack those and then mask out the stars that you currently have on this picture and just process for the star color. And then in pixel mask, you can put them together and you could replace the star color with the new picture, with the old picture, and you'll be good. But that's
sometimes that can be a little confusing especially for new people, how to pull those two together.
Well, you know who has an awesome video on how to do that? Sean Nielsen. And it'll take you about 30 seconds to do.
Hey, Dan, do you have the link to that you could post on the chat forum?
For the star replacement?
Yes, the star. Yeah,
I can grab it. Sure.
Okay.
Give me a little bit on that. I could grab that.
Because seriously, overall, it's a beautiful image. No question about it.
I love it. It's
gorgeous
great.
image. Good detail. Absolutely. But as I said, just a little bit more tweaking and just a little bit not a little bit time-wise, get it down to about 120 seconds and about 30 seconds for the core. And then as you get that HDR, you'll be able to blend those together.
Yeah, for sure.
Here we go. People are sending us two good pictures, man. I don't even know if I want to show this. Now, Mark Ellis was the next one.
All right. Let's see what Mark's got.
Mark, I know. I've already checked out his AstroBin site.
Oh, my God. So I don't even want to
Gideon, if you've got APP, then you can do a really good I tell you can do a lot of this with APP, do an extract.
God, that is gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't like you, Mark.
Mark. You know what, Mark? You know what I think about this picture? It sucks. It's the worst picture I ever seen, Mark. It's horrible.
I tell
Look
you
what you did to
something.
the stars. You narrowband people. You never put RGB stars. You got these crappy looking stars all over the place. What are you doing?
No, but I'll tell you something. I love this. I love this target. I love this subject.
This
I
is the
love the
Cygnus
Cygnus wall. I
Yeah.
absolutely love the Cygnus wall.
So for
One of
those
my
of you
favorites.
that don't know who this is part of NGC 7000, the North American Nebula, or otherwise dubbed as the Cygnus Wall here. And let me tell you, Mark, I mean, you got some awesome detail in these clouds. I mean,
yes.
it's just
Oh,
gorgeous.
man.
And you know what I love?
Contrast.
You know
Look
what I
at the
love the
contrast.
most? Right up here. Where is it? This part, right here.
Yeah. The dark neb,
Look at
the
that.
dark dust, the
Oh,
dark clouds. I love it.
It looks like somebody took, you know what it looks like to me? It looks like somebody took chalk dust and dragged a broom through it.
Mhm.
That's what, and that's when you know you got detail. If you could kind of see that kind of motion, it's just awesome. I mean, this is just, yes, Josh, I see you. I know you sent me pictures on Discord.
Yep. No, I mean, look at the everything, the contrast, the color, the detail, the focus, the tight stars. I mean, Mark, you've got yourself definitely a great.
What did you use for this, Mark? Did you use the 11
I thought this was his RC. I could be wrong, but
or is this the RC?
he'll let us know. So let us know some specs
But
on this.
one thing that
Mark.
I would say, like what you were saying, Dan, you know, when you're doing narrowband, sometimes, you know, it's people forget, you know, about the star color. And I would really try, at least me personally, I'm going to try to, as my own thing, you know, to try to do RGB stars.
Yeah.
And blend them in with,
Yep.
you know, a narrowband image.
Yep.
You know,
that's definitely the way to go. I mean, I've done it once or twice, and it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Or what you can do is go to Russell Corman and get the Star Extreme and just kind of take out the stars and just have the nebula complex.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could have a starless. Yep. Absolutely. So hey, listen, Mark, I can't say much about this. I think this. Again, the only thing that I would say to improve it, and that's an improvement on because of me. It's not my picture, but you're the one that's got to be happy with it. I would just, like Eric was saying, like I said before, RGB stars may make a difference in this picture.
Yeah.
Or to Pete's point, no stars at all.
Or no stars. I love it with, you know, something like this to go starless is awesome.
Yeah, but you got to make sure you do it. If you're gonna do StarNet, I wouldn't tell you to do StarNet. I would go with Pete, what he was talking about. Either
Star Exterminator?
Star Exterminator. I tried it the other day, and there were no artifacts.
None whatsoever.
Anywhere.
It really is amazing.
Anywhere. Because like StarNet tends to leave like these. It looks like somebody punched a knuckle.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. It looks like somebody punched a knuckle because it can't. I don't know if it just can't figure out the brightness of the background or whatever it is. It looks like somebody was just like punching knuckles in there when the big stars are. And so I'm sold on the Exterminator. I'm gonna buy that probably this weekend.
Oh, he used the Esprit 152.
Yeah.
So he used a refractor.
Explore Scientific.
Yep. Oh, Explore Scientific.
Yeah, Explore Scientific.
All right.
But there you go. Yeah, Mark said he tried StarNet on it and it murdered it. So
yeah.
So I hear you on that. So let's see what we got next because we're already coming up on 9:30. Whew. All right, let's see. Next picture. Let's see. Evan Green. We got. I don't know what we got here. We got 3 different pictures, but
let's go with the first one.
I like picking the one in the middle.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
you got Saturn.
Yeah.
One thing I would consider, it depends on your scope. If you're using a Barlow or a PowerMate, I would consider that.
Yeah, well, let's find out the specs of
the
spec in the camera first.
Yeah, it's the camera as well.
Yeah, so if you could tell us that would be great. If you're still here.
Yeah.
And give him a second. But yeah, so obviously it's very dark.
Yeah,
Let's point out the obvious.
Yep, very dark.
It's very dark. It looks like you did some pre-processing because it is a little fuzzy. It's a little post-processing. It does look a little fuzzy. I'm wondering if you used either auto stackered or registax or anything to post-process it and what it is. So if you could let us know, let us know where you're at on that. But definitely could definitely be improved by using, like Eric said, a Barlow or a PowerMate. Let's see.
Just to get some more magnification, to get some more detail.
This is through a Celestron First Scope 80. So there you go. That's one of your answers. So doing planetary through an 80 millimeter refractor,
very different.
Probably not a good idea.
No.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised you got such a good ring, to be honest with you, out of that. Because it's hard to do it with a refractor. You don't have the focal length to do that. What happened? No, Dan, this is how, I don't know.
Oh, this is how he sees it. If he was using a first scope. 180.
Did you?
So it's not his. So this is not Gideon.
Is this a drawing? Wait, no. What is he? I don't know what.
This is how I see Saturn through. This is just he's saying. This is just how I see Saturn through my Celestron First Scope.
Oh, okay. So Evan Green. Okay, he did put something in here before.
Celestron 114.
C114 with a Barlow and zoom lens. I guess that's the same thing. Pics taken.
So he's taking it through a zoom lens. It's not a.
Okay.
No. Okay.
One
so
edited through.
Hold on. It's a Barlow with an iPhone 12 zoomed in.
Okay. Yeah.
So now we got a little. I should have read the email.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Gideon. Okay, I got you. I see. I understand now. I understand. It's okay. Don't worry.
All right. So for one, this is a phone image.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pre, during, and post. So I'm guessing this is the post.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be tough doing with the 114 also, to be honest with you. 114 is still a reflector.
Yep.
But it's going to be tough. Now, again, what I would do is, even with this, number one is if I guess, let's see. I'm just trying to see which is. This is 585, 580, 579. So 579, I guess this is the original photograph. So I guess the first thing I would say, number one, it's probably overexposed a little bit. That's why you got a nice fuzzy ring. So when you're doing planetary, from what I know, and I'm not a planetary imager, I don't think any of us are.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, planetary imagers are, it's a very different niche part of astrophotography. It's very different.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I know of it, you need to slow your scope down to dim out the object so you get the detail and everything. That's the first thing. So that's why when you start seeing, you're like, why is this guy or girl shooting at f/25 to get Jupiter? I can get it with my f/10 scope. Yeah, but you won't get it as good because you're blurring out all the detail.
Yeah.
So Pete, you got something? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to literally just say that is that typically with planets is that you really got to get resolution. And for what we do is we want to keep an image scale between like 0.8 to 2 arc seconds. But for planetary work, you can definitely get down to like about a 0.3 arc seconds, but you got to have good seeing for those conditions.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you're going to have more, you can't have more resolution than what your seeing conditions will allow because you just can't overcome that physical handicap. But typically you get those nights, we've all been prone to those nights where you get like maybe half a dozen nights a year where the seeing is like at 1.5 arc seconds. And it's just like, oh, wow, this is a great night to be imaging. That's the night, if you're into planetary, that you want to definitely set up and do planetary work.
I would recommend, going off of that, Pete, I would recommend if you're going to do planetary, take a look, go on to YouTube, look up Damien Peach.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
He is the man when it comes to planetary, in my opinion. And he even gives tips on being, keeping it out on the right type of weather conditions. Because he mentions sometimes even after a storm, or if it's been foggy in the morning or something like that, because you want to get, because of the pressure, if you want to be, I think you want to be in a high pressure system, when you're doing planetary. So look up his information, look up his videos, and he gives you some tips on the best times to do planetary. So yeah, and I agree with Gideon. Yeah, planetary imagers are a totally different stock of people.
Yep.
They totally are. So with this being, a StarSense, 114, a Newtonian reflector, yeah, a lot of it, I'm not sure if these were just straight shots, like straight JPEG shots, or these video. Did he do video and or these are straight, like
it looks like they're straight charts through the iPhone 12.
iPhone 12, because that's one question. Did he actually do video, or did he just press, or say, hey, I'll take a quick shot of with the camera, and then this is what I get.
And if you're doing video, you might be able to get a better result.
No, doing video.
If you're doing video, you might be able to get a better result if you put it through auto stacker and try and kind of finagle that. And once you're done with auto stacker and you get the pictures you want, because what auto stacker does, for those of you that don't know, it'll take your video and it'll chop it down into each frame, and you can pick the top 30, 20, 40, 50% of the frames based on, it actually analyzes each frame. You could take that, stack it, and then bring it into Registacks, and all this is free.
Yeah.
Registacks, you can bring in there, you can mess around with all the post-processing in Registacks, or if you got something better to use, you can use that.
Yeah.
But you may be able to get a better result if you take video. Now, I don't know if you're just taking shots,
right?
But if you're just taking shots, to me, and you guys could yell at me if you want, that's not the right way to do planetary. You should be doing video.
You should be doing video.
And the reason being is because even if you're doing any visual astronomy and you're looking at the planet, one of the rules of visual astronomy is the more you look, the more you're going to see. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So especially with planetary goes in and out of focus all the time because of atmospheric disturbance.
Yep.
Okay? So the video will catch those quick seconds in between where it's nice and stable.
Yep.
And you can chuck out the other garbage.
Yep.
And it'll do that for you.
Christopher makes a good point here. Keep an eye on the jet stream when you're doing planetary. You don't want to be underneath it. You don't want to be under it. Okay, good point.
Okay. All right, we got another picture before I get yelled at by Josh again. We got Josh, and this is an interesting picture from Josh. Here we go. So this, he actually pointed me to his AstroBin page. So this is with Redcat 51, and I'm not going to show it yet. Redcat 51 with Canon Rebel, processed in PixInsight. It's a T7.
A T7, okay.
All right, so let's get this up.
So crop center.
It's not a modded Canon camera, is it?
It doesn't say. But from looking at it, I'd say no.
Okay.
But let's take a look. Let me make this. Let me get into the big picture here. And I'm getting rid of the small picture here, and then we'll show on stream. And here we go.
Well, there we go.
Excuse me. Oh, wow. He's got a lot. Okay. He's got.
So this is the Auriga complex with the flaming star.
Yep.
The
tadpole, the fly.
Yep. He's got a lot. He's got a really wide field of view here.
This is unmodded. You said it's unmodded.
I didn't say it. I said from looking at it, I think it's unmodded.
No, he just said it.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. I know, Josh. I'm only kidding. No, I'm sorry. I know you were yelling at me. I'm not that sensitive. That's Eric.
Oh.
So what's interesting is you got the spider and the fly. You've got the tadpoles. Can you see the tadpoles down towards the bottom?
Yep. Yeah, you can.
Can you see?
Oh yeah, you can just barely see the little tadpoles
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, you
Yep.
can barely see them. Yeah.
What's nice is look at the star color. So he hasn't really pushed the and this is with the DSLR. So he's really kept his exposures. So he hasn't oversaturated the stars, which is nice.
Yeah, the star color is really nice.
Yep.
I like the detail here in the nebula.
Yep.
I really like the star clusters themselves.
The star clusters themselves,
Yeah,
I was
look
going
at
to say,
that.
the star clusters are awesome.
Star clusters. If I was to say anything about this entire picture, I would say maybe just take it a little bit easy on the black point.
Yeah.
Just it looks like we may be pushing the blacks a little too much.
Mm-hmm. And that's not uncommon.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's
That's
not
not
uncommon.
uncommon.
A lot of people, even astrophotographers with a lot of experience, tend to make the background as black as you could possibly get.
Yeah, because that's what you're thinking. Space. You're
Space
thinking
is not black. It's not black.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit gray. So
Yeah.
that's why I shoot for that time. That's a lesson from. I can't say I pulled this number out of my butt. I didn't. I got it through lessons from Ron Breacher, and I tend to like it. So I shoot for when I look at the if you're doing it in PixInsight and you're doing your first histogram stretch, get the display cursor out. It's the one with that looks like a little crosshairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you got the preview up, left click on the background of the darkest parts of the sky, like up in here and maybe in here a little bit and some down here. And take a look at the darkest parts of the sky and see what the K reading is. That's your black reading. And if it's 0.1, that's 10%. I leave it there. If it's less than that, I think it's too dark. To me, it just looks too dark to me. Anywhere from 0.10 to 0.15, 15% gray. I think that's about as bright as I'd want to get it because then you start washing out everything.
Right.
Yeah. And what's nice about this image is that it isn't that oversaturated look that you see with some people that really push those colors.
Yeah.
Yep.
To the point that just gets, what's the word I'm looking for? Like gaudy. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
It look almost. Yeah. It gets really gaudy.
Yep.
Too
this
too
is
much color.
Yep. And what I like about it is in the flaming star where you can see Aruga right here, right?
Yeah.
What is it, Aruga E or whatever it's called? You can see the
Yeah.
blue O3 nebulosity.
Yes.
So it's just tastefully done. Very, very tastefully done.
I like it. I like the composition. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Now, what can be done is sometimes these stars can kind of go nuclear where they're just overbearing.
Yep.
There's a lot of plugins that are out there. Case in point, Russell Corman has a bunch of plugins. Annie's Astro plugins.
Yep.
And even Starzona's got some great little plugins that will actually help you if you want to kind of reduce all these stars so that the composition of all the stars don't overbear the nebulosity.
Yeah. And that's because when you have a wide field shot like this, you have such a large star field.
Yes.
It does get a bit overbearing. It does be a bit much. So you want to try to minimize, make those stars a little bit smaller. Because I know Annie's,
Annie's Astros,
Annie's Astro with Photoshop, they do have there are certain ones where you can actually make the stars smaller. So you can get more of the nebulosity out.
But I like this composition.
I do like
it. Yep.
I like it. I really do. It looks really nice.
You guys are talented,
and
man.
This is an unmodded DSLR.
Some of these, man.
Yep. Yeah, it's a T7.
Yeah, it's an unmodded DSLR. So I mean,
that's impressive.
This is very, very impressive.
He said that's 32 hours of integration. So
okay.
Oh, so he said, he
took some time in that.
He took some time in this, man. What was his average? What did he say? What his his average was as far as his not his flats, but his lights? Was he doing 5 minute? Was he doing 3 minute?
Technical
probably just a couple minutes.
Let's see, 226 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so it was a couple minutes.
And then 598 50-second shots.
Okay. So he lowered he lowered the ISO, for those longer exposures, which okay.
I was looking for the Bortles guy, but it's Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Grand
Or
Rapids.
Portal 6.5.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably about a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, 6.5. So
No.
yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like it looks
I was
like
going to say, Josh, if you take a look at Annie's Astro plugins, and Russell Croman has some great plugins.
Yeah.
He's got one called Star Shrink.
Yep.
That if you think that these stars are a little bit overbearing, you'd be amazed to see what Star Shrink will do for you. It'll just really make these nebula complexes just pop right out.
Yeah, and if you could just mask out those or mask in those big stars and use that plugin, it'll just shrink those big stars for you. It won't mess up anything else. It won't make anything disappear on you either.
Yeah.
That's good
But
stuff.
no, great job. Great
Yeah.
job.
Very good.
I think he's got one more actually. Let's see. He did it on the Discord server. This is a hunter's belt.
Oh, we got Elnatak, Elnanan, and Mintaka.
Yep, there we go. And wrong screen, and there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Look at that. And this is unmodded too? Whoa.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at the nebulosity here on Elnanan, right along there on the south side.
Yep.
Very nice.
Very nice.
You didn't blow out the belt, really?
No.
Belt was really good.
I love that little one right there.
Yeah. That's very impressive.
Yeah, that's really good.
And what was the scope?
I'll go back to the tech card. I think it's the same scope.
Was it a Red Cat?
It is a Red Cat.
It's a Red Cat,
the T7 with the Sky Guider Pro.
Okay.
Yep.
Batter Moon and Sky Glow, Pix Insight.
And this is, this is one of the things where I think, Josh, maybe you had brought this up, because when you're, looking south, you can see, I'm not trying to pixel peep, but you can see, because you're using that Sky Guider, that you see some of those stars are a little elongated, and that could be because, we were talking about being so much further away from the pole itself, and you're using the Sky Guider.
Is that walking noise that I see right here?
Yeah.
Josh? Was Josh dithering?
I don't know. Were you dithering?
Because it looks like walking noise. I was wondering if he dithered every other image or every second image.
That'd be gone.
Yep. I'd be curious to see if he was doing dithering at that point.
Can you dither? Can you dither with a Sky Guider Pro?
I don't know if you can.
I don't think you can, but that's what I'm wondering. It's a Sky Guider Pro, so you can't dither with that. Yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can. You can. You might be able to. I don't remember. I only tested one. I never really got as far as dithering with it.
Because I tell you what, if he could dither, that would be a phenomenal image.
All that like kind of red green kind of chrominance noise that you got going on.
Yep.
That'll all be gone. That would be pretty cool. All right. What do we got? Yes, you can dither. Okay, you can only in RA.
Well, that's okay.
Only in RA. Okay.
That's fine.
So was he doing dithering in RA then?
Let's see. I don't see him answering yet. We'll wait for the answer. That's okay.
Yeah.
We could do one more picture.
Yeah, let's do one more. We're almost getting to time.
Yeah,
so
we're coming up close to 2 hours.
Yep. So let's go ahead and just do one more.
Hey, did you hear the new music that I put on the intro? Did you hear it?
Me? No, I didn't hear it, unfortunately.
Ah, man, you guys stink. I put some new music on the intro.
I'm waiting for Rush to be played.
Can't do it. I'll get kicked off.
Oh, really?
No. All the music that you hear is my band. So
I see. Okay. Yeah, you can't use.
So I can't. Yeah, I you know what? I used it for the beginning of. I used Cygnus X1 for Rush.
Yep.
And I used it for just the intro, just like the
Did you even say that this isn't yours?
No, 15 seconds of music. No, I didn't think anyone was gonna say anything. About 6 months into it, they said I'm copyright infringing.
Yeah,
Oh,
you didn't get props.
So, oh well, what are you gonna do? I figured everybody knew it was Cygnus. So, thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Gideon. Good music. Thank you so much. Josh was not dithering yet. That's
okay.
so.
If he dithers, that'll be a marked improvement on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see. We'll go back to Where's my email? We'll go one picture more, and let's see. Jane, I think, sent me a picture from Astronomy Notebook.
Okay.
And where is it? There it is. My image to analyze. These guys are so funny. They always put these good pictures on there. This is beautiful. We got the Dumbbell Nebula, and I'll give you some information about it. It's with the Esprit 120.
Okay.
With the ZWO 2600 MC.
Okay.
5-minute subs, 3 hours total exposure, and only darks are applied. No flats, no bias, no flat darks. So here we go.
I will this just off the bat, just what we were talking about just earlier, just maybe a little bit too much on the black, on the background.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Good star colors.
But yeah, good star colors.
I always love this area because if you try, and I'm going to go back to my visual astronomy. If you try and find M27, the Dumbbell Nebula, visually, with any scope, it's in the middle of a really sparse area. It's really like a no man's land when if you're trying to star hop to the Dumbbell Nebula, it's not easy because there's no real bright stars there to kind of get you there.
Yeah.
But when you actually take a photo of it like this and you start to see all the stars around it, I think it's amazing that all these things are, and I love the fact that you got not only did you get the football, you got the apple core. And
yes.
I thought that's a really good rendition here. And I love the color. I like the blue color. I do.
Got a question. If I look at the stars, I mean, once again, beautiful image, and I'm not trying to say anything disrespectful here, but the stars aren't round and tight. They seem to have kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points to them. The Esprit is a refractor, correct?
Yes.
Well, I'm curious why the stars seem to kind of have like diffraction spikes.
Yeah, that is a good question.
That is good. Like right there, you can see that one star up in the upper left. You see how it has that. It's not a. That is interesting. I wonder what's causing that on that Esprit.
Take it easy, Josh.
Josh, have a good night. Great to see you. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Great images, bud. Great images.
Yeah. Oh, she was using a Batinoff mask. Okay. Did she get to take the Batinoff mask off?
Maybe 1 or 2 of the images and then stack them.
I think that could have been it because you're right. That's why the stars aren't round and tight. They're just a little bit that could be it.
That could be.
I think that was a joke because
you know what? I've done that once.
That's Gideon making a joke. That wasn't her saying that. Jane.
Oh, that's Gideon saying she was using a Batinoff mask. Oh, okay.
But it could be. You never know.
You never know. Know.
It could be not really in focus.
In focus, yeah.
No, it's because if it was a Batinoff mask on that whole,
yeah.
I don't know.
But you notice that. Well, hold it. Take a look at the inside of the nebula. Look at the stars around and see. Even the stars inside are just slightly having like diffraction spikes.
Right here.
She said no Batinoff mask.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that could be it. That could be one thing.
I mean, I love the color of the image.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
I love the color of the stars. That would definitely be something to kind of take a look at. And Mark actually gave a good
star reduction.
A star reduction would work, or maybe some decon. That would work.
Yep.
But I really do. I agree with you, Gideon. I think it's a great photo. For only 3 hours.
Yeah, only 3 hours. That's really amazing.
Yeah. I think it looks really good. The one thing I like, when I've done the dumbbell, and I like when you do like a bicolor or a tricolor with narrowband, you get the little green kind of right in there. You get a little green kind of hue right where the blue and the gold read, just like right there.
A question to ask you guys on the ZWO, on the 2600, or is it the 1600? Remember the 1600 used to always frost. Was that the issue? There's frosting on the camera?
With the dew?
Yeah, and I was wondering, would the dew potentially cause those kind of diffraction spikes on the stars if dew and condensation started to form on the camera?
Well, I think, and Eric, you might correct me if I'm wrong with this because you use a lot more ZWO than I do, but from what I understand with the dew problems on the chip, it's more of a kind of a non-calibration of you can't calibrate your flats to it, so you kind of see this smudge kind of going across your picture.
Okay,
is that correct? Is that correct, Eric?
I'm not on. I think so, but don't quote me. I'm not 100%, bud.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right, because what happens is when you got that dew on there, it's like literally like a dust mote, and when it dries, it just looks like a big smudge.
Yeah, because I haven't used ZWO cameras, but I understand they used to have the dew heater straps. On the new 6200, is that dew heater built inside the camera?
The 26,
the 26 and the 62.
And the 60, the 26, I believe, has a dew heater already built. Has a built-in dew heater. The 62, which is their full frame, it definitely does.
No, they both have it, and you could also buy the dew heater strap.
Yep, and that's what I put on all of mine.
Yeah, slap it on the outside of the barrel.
Yeah, they have that really strong adhesive, and that's what I purchased on all of mine.
Yep, and the wire comes across. Just do yourself a favor, read the instructions on how to run that wire, because it's got to be done a specific way.
A specific way.
Yeah. So, I forgot. So Frank, Astro Puppet, he came in one day with his camera, and he had the same problem with the dew. And it left this huge ripple smudge all halfway through his sensor, like a huge ripple. And I was like, you know what? Before we send it, let's see if we can clean this off. So I grabbed my sensor cleaner. I'm not cleaning the actual sensor. It's literally just the glass on the top.
In the front, yeah.
So this is not for the faint of heart. You don't want to just clean a sensor if you don't know how to clean a sensor, especially if you're dealing DSLR. You don't want to take that glass off if you can avoid it. Yep. If you're gonna have it done by somebody who knows what they're doing, please. You could really screw up a really expensive camera. But it was literally just I have a little lupe, a little kind of flash kind of glass where I could magnify the sensor, and I look at it and I see this ripple of smudge. I don't even know what it was. So I said, all right, let's see if we can clean it. So I cleaned it off. I got it nice. Nothing there. It came right off, and Frank was able to take flats and clean up his images. So we fixed that one, huh, Frank? so he was ready to chuck the camera, but he was ready to go send it into, because back then they didn't have a repair facility in the U.S. You have to send it back to China.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a great image right there, the Dumbbell Nebula. Very nice. Jay.
Bob Santos has said info about the Asbrian stars, like what's posted in the picture. So there's a link there that he sent in. So that might kind of answer our question about why we're seeing diffraction spikes.
And just go. Wait, so what was that? He said, "Oh, take a look at the link I posted in the image discussion on Discord." Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, that might be interesting to check a look at.
Okay.
Let's see, Discord, image discussion. How we fine tune the Esprit. Okay, so if you have an Esprit, you could, if you're into doing this, there is a way to kind of make sure everything is running right.
So it's a tweaking of the scope itself.
Yep.
Okay. Because that
here you go. See the stars there? Almost got the same thing.
Interesting. Well, we might want to make sure that we send that link to whoever took that photo.
Yeah, Jane. I don't know if you're in the Discord server, but if you're not, you know what I'll do? I'll throw it in the chat real quick right now. Thank you, Bob. This might
Thanks,
help. And I'll copy this, and then I'll paste this. It doesn't look like it's collimation because you're doing stuff to the sides of the mirrors for the lenses. So here you go. So there's the link, and it's coming up in a second. It definitely is not column. It looks like it looks like tuning of the mirrors of the lenses.
Yep. Yeah, there's just something not right with the way those stars are. Those stars should be round and tight, and we're looking at little diffraction spikes. So that tells me there's just a minor issue with that Esprit. So
yeah, and I kind of see this. Okay, so it looks like some O-ring may need to be replaced or something.
Yeah, I would definitely think that you might want to reach out to Esprit and
Skywatcher
and just see. They might want to kind of have a talk with her on that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you may want to take a look at. And I sent you the link so you can read through this. And I haven't had that problem with my Esprit. I have the 80 just like this, and but I've been lucky, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, refractors, everybody thinks refractors are definitely maintenance free, but believe me, every now and then you get one that just needs a little bit of tweaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, George, I agree. It's probably that's what you're doing. You're relieving the pressure on the sides of the mirror. I keep on saying mirror on the sides of the lens.
Yeah.
That it could be a little bit tight on one side. That's why you're getting that kind of dent in the stars.
So the term's called pinch optics.
Yeah, pinched optics. Yep. So you may want to have that checked out. I don't know, but I like the picture as far as
picture's absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Dan, your Discord is so white. Well, Anna Kalime said my Discord is so white. Well, you know what? If you want to run my Discord server, go right ahead because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'll make it purple for you or something. I don't know. I could probably wing that, but other than that, hey, listen, I have a Discord server for my D&D stuff, so I started one for AstroWorld. It's more like it's like a chat, pretty much, just for AstroWorld people.
Yep.
So.
Well, I have a question to ask our audience members. I really think that we've got a core group that always come in, and it's a treat to be able to get their questions and their responses. But I'm going to ask them to help us out. Can you reach out to your friends who are into this hobby, let them know who we are, and let's see if we can get our, what's the word I'm looking for, our podcasts out to the masses. Because I think between all of us, there's a lot of information that people definitely look forward to. And I think that just the fact that if it's word of mouth that gets spread, I think that's the best form of market that we could actually reach out to. So I'm going to ask all of our attendees if they can spread the word, and let's see if we can get some more people on, especially coming up with Dr. Christian Sassy, Henrik coming in. Dan, I'm going to get you some more contacts, so you're going to get reaching out. But I think we've got a really a good couple of months coming up with a lot of guest speakers.
Yeah, I'm more. I also put the reach out to Explore Scientific. I forgot his name already. I'm having a brain fart. Scott Roberts.
Yeah.
Over there. And Hendrik, hopefully, Hendrik, if you're watching, answer your email, please. Answer your email, please. Help me.
I'll see to it that he does. Believe me, he's notorious for not returning emails, but I'll reach out to him tomorrow.
Yep. And so it's I've been trying to get a rescheduled date for him, and I haven't been able to kind of reach out to him because I definitely want to check out to that. And Tom, I know you were or maybe will be watching. You three will be coming on. Filippo, Omar, and Tom from Prima Luce. So that's going to be interesting. Hopefully I'll have my Filippo parody video ready to go for that day. So I'm really trying hard to get that finished, but it's going to be interesting. People are asking for the AstroWorld in Discord server, and I'll put that in the chat right now.
Maybe what we could do is we could ask the people if maybe what we do the first half hour or the last half hour of each of the podcasts, we'll just kind of look at everybody's photos and just kind of give them what our opinion is. I mean, that might be something that they'd be interested.
Yeah, And again, if anybody wants to come on and talk about it,
Yeah.
I have no problem throwing the link. Just don't everybody blow up the link, and then I got 18 people waiting to come online. So, I can only do up to 10, I think. So, but if anybody wants to come online, they're more than welcome to come on and hang out with us too. So, I mean, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can take that abuse.
I think Gideon was asking you, Pete, what is the mount you behind you have? Is a software bisque? Is that a Mighty, or is that?
Yeah, that's the Mighty. Yeah, that's the
yeah.
Mighty mount.
Yep.
That's the little one, the little
Yep.
brother.
Yep.
Oh, did everybody see? What's his name? Sent me that video of him carrying his Mighty out.
Oh, did he send you that? I gotta see this.
He said, where did he send it?
That was on Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Where did he send? I got it right here. There we go. Hold on, I got it right here. Hold on. Is this it?
I gotta see this because he had the mount and the scope all attached, and he just muscles it out there to his.
Oh, it's great. Where was it? Who was it? Was it George? Where did he send it to? Oh man, I think I don't know where it is now. Oh, it was great. He actually sent it to me too.
Oh, well, you'll have to show us that when we come on next Friday.
I gotta find. Yeah, I'll find it for next Friday. He sent me the video of it,
and we gotta get him. And we gotta get him on so we can just ask him these questions.
Yep. He said he sent it on Discord. Hold on, let's see. I gotta look for George Lutch. Here we go. Let's see. Where is it?
George, that's funny. I swear, George, I have to see this video.
Where did he send it? Was it under discussions? I gotta find it again. Yeah. I don't know if you saw this. This is a picture that I put up. Here you go. I got a good joke about this. Here you go. And loading. Here you go.
Christopher Walken, love it.
For those of you who don't know, this is from the infamous cowbell skit from SNL.
SNL.
And
Barlow.
So I just this image needs more Barlow, man.
It's more Barlow.
I got a fever, and the cure is more Barlow. But I can't find the George Lutch thing. I can't find it.
Oh, Dan.
Events, rules, voice channels? No, I don't want voice channels. Go away. Let's see. George, send it to me again. But let's see if we can send it real quick. George. Equipment discussions. No. There's no old stuff. I know he put it in the chat, and I can't seem to find the chat on here. Let's see. I'll just find it for real quick. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. I think I heard he sent it to me again. Hold on. Oh, a lot of people just joined. We got more people online on Discord that just beeping like crazy.
Well, do we keep the show going?
But it's 10:03. We've been on for 2 hours. Do we keep the show going?
What do you say? Another half hour? Let's let the members decide. They tell us what to do. What do you think?
On Discord in general chat. Oh, I got it. Okay, I got it.
Okay. So this is it.
I have too many text channels, so because I got beginners questions, advanced questions.
Well, let's do Q&A. We'll end with Q&A. What do you think?
Sure.
it's not working.
Oh,
dear.
No, the page isn't working anymore. You guys said I think the OneDrive link expired.
Okay.
So you'll have to send it to me again. I didn't download it. But if you send it to me again and redo the link, we'll put it on. But yeah, so all right. What do we got? We got Gideon, the glare. It's Friday. Why not? Just stick around. All right. So first time I found out you had a Discord.
Dennis, 30 more minutes.
Dennis, my buddy. I love that guy. Miss you, Dennis, man. But yeah. So okay, I think we got a couple more pictures. So
Okay.
You want to do that? Yeah. Let's see. Inbox.
You want to relay that? Is there any technical questions too that people have? We can interlay it with that as well.
Let's see. So Frank Longo. There you go. Frank, AstroPup. Did we do this? Yeah, we did this. We did this. We did this. Did we do one of Frank's yet? No, we didn't do one of Frank's yet. Okay. First final and first PI process. All right. So we already did one M31. So let's do M42.
Okay.
And
okay.
There we go. There's M42.
I like
the background.
Yeah, I was going to say I like the background.
Yep, background is not black, but it's got that grayish look to it, which is outstanding.
Yep.
Composition is good. Detail is very good. Star color is good.
Yeah.
I was thinking the only thing that I would do if you go back then towards the trapezium is you can see it's kind of like a soft. It's not real defined. It's like a soft focus.
Yep.
The only thing I would think that I would do is just maybe tighten up just a little bit on the focus. Maybe, as you say, do a little. I mean, I wonder if he could do drizzle. What was he undersample? Maybe that he could do drizzling to kind of maybe bring out that detail because it's just slightly soft.
I don't think he's at the point of he's not at the point of drizzling yet. I remember talking to him about this picture.
Okay. But it's kind of a soft, isn't it, when you look at it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very soft. And I think this is another picture, like you pointed out with M31, that could definitely take advantage of that HDR.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you don't lose, because right now everything is blown out right at the center. You can't see the trapezium.
No,
you can barely make out maybe one of the stars on the outside.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could see any of the main trapezium. E and F maybe.
No, I agree.
Yeah. And how long was this? How long were his exposures?
I don't know yet. Well, that's why he's still there. He's in the chat. So how long were the exposures, Frank? I do like the detail again in the dark.
Yes.
Nebula right here. I do like that.
Very good contrast there.
I think
3 minute. 25 3-minute exposures with the 2600 MC.
So this is an hour and 15 minutes. This is nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you got more data, you would come out
you can come out even more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would say. For one, this is me, because it is so hard sometimes with M42. M42 is one of the easier, but it's also one of the more challenging targets. You know, it is the entry, one of the entry level targets for getting into AP, along with M31 and M33. But it is also very challenging because of the core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would actually recommend doing a blend of exposures for something like this. You know, this could be like maybe 30-second, 1 minute exposures, to work on that core. I would really go down on that. And then on others, more exposure time, because there is so much more in this complex than what we have right now.
Yeah.
Also consider, I don't know if you were using a filter or what type of filter you were using.
I think this is just a straight color.
I would recommend even looking at using an NB, like the NBZ.
Yep.
Just an idea. Yeah. Just an idea, like you say, Eric, is maybe 50, 30-second exposures for the core, at least 3 minutes for the outer fringes,
Mm-hmm.
and about maybe 2 minutes for the interior.
Yeah.
But don't push the core past 30 seconds. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, do an HDR combination.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes it is really hard. It can be really hard to get that core the way you really want it to be, to see those stars in a trapezium.
Yeah, and I think that, another thing, again, more data would definitely help bring this out a lot more.
Yeah.
Start looking at it like 5 or 6 or 10 hours, and then all of a sudden you'll start to see this thing is going to explode all over the picture frame.
Yeah.
So,
because I mean, here, if I share my screen, I'll give you an example. Don't look the core. I know one thing with me is that's really, really hard. Can I be able to share my screen, Dan?
Yeah, put it up.
This is, let me see here. Let me know when you see my screen. This is,
Got it.
Okay. This is with the Rasa. Now, the one thing about the Rasa being so fast, it will blow out really quick. And this is exactly what happened with this one. But with I use the NBZ as well as my Beta Sky Glow as a mix. And you can see just how much detail is still out there.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I really want to show is,
Yeah.
How much more detail in the Running Man and behind the Running Man and around that you can get with, getting that little bit of time with the exposure. Now, I'll admit here, my core is blown. I will not dispute that.
But what's interesting on this is, Eric, look at how the stars the ultraviolet radiation is just illuminating all that gas on the side fringes.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a great photograph to show definitely that ultraviolet radiation.
Yeah, and that's, this is one of the things I love about this area is all of this, the gas and that detail you can really pull out of this. Now, with these were, and I'll tell you, with the Rasa at f2, these were all pretty much 30-second exposures.
Oh my God.
These were 30-second. Okay. Yeah. I got it. For me personally, I probably have to go down to 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Or
so
less.
I was going to ask Frank. Frank, what's the F ratio on your scope that when you took your image? Does he have it posted there? What the scope is?
Oh, and see, some of these. Okay, I did 10-second and 30-second.
Okay, and then what was Frank's on Frank's photograph? What's the focal ratio?
We're waiting for him to answer. He's a GT81. So GT81.
The GT81's a little bit over 400.
Yeah, but what's the vocal ratio?
It is F. I think it's like an F6, F6,
F9, F5.9,
5.9. And he's using the reducer, so that's down like F4.7 if he's using the reducer.
4.7. Yep.
So 30 seconds for him would be ideal then, just to kind of work within that core at that vocal ratio.
Yeah.
Yep.
About 20 to 30 seconds is what he'll need on the core.
With my Rasa, I maybe even have to go down to 1 second shots.
I'll say probably 1 or 2 at the most. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are, because that's nuts.
You're gonna blast that out real quick.
Very quick.
But George must want us to show this video really bad because he just redid the link. I guess he wants to show off his muscles here. So
hey, do we have any music for the build up?
I don't have any music. But here we go.
Oh my God.
Good.
He's got the con. Oh.
Look at that monster.
Whoa. Now that is a man's man.
God bless you, George.
Yeah, man.
Everybody, let's give kudos to George.
Yep. Yeah.
Look, he didn't even break a sweat.
He didn't
Nope.
even touch the nothing touched the wall. Nothing.
Nope.
It was nice and smooth. Awesome job, man. Awesome job.
Oh, that's great.
That's
That
awesome.
is awesome.
That is really cool. All right. Do we have any other pictures? I don't know. Let's see.
He said George said he used to own the CGXL. Did you lift that one out of there? Did you
Oh
walk
my
that
God.
one out?
Not out that doorway.
CGXL, man, that is a monster.
Man, that's a beast.
Gideon sent another picture.
Okay.
This is okay. So this looks like Red Cat L Extreme 97 1-minute shots with an EAF and a Sky Guider Pro.
Okay.
That is not it. There we go. And there we go.
Oh. All right. All right.
We got the rose.
Yes.
All
Now,
right.
what's the first thing that you notice when you look at this image?
One, the background is a little, for
Yeah.
me, I'm looking at the background.
Look at the star color or lack of star color.
White. It's white.
It is all white.
Yeah.
Yep. So that tells me that you took a little bit too much time on your shots.
Yep. Just got to decrease the exposure time. And then to me, it's just a little soft, or is that just me?
It is a little so on the
is.
stars. It
With
is
the
a
noise
little-
reduction.
I don't know if it. I mean, I know he said it was EAF, but I mean, I don't know if it's noise reduction. I don't think it is.
No?
No, I don't. I think that either he didn't even run a sharpening on it, or the focus is a little bit off.
Exactly. It's one of those combinations. It just
Yeah.
needs to be a little tack sharp.
Yep. EAF in general, I mean, it's an okay focuser, but I don't know how accurate it can be. If your seeing is a little bit off, I think it's going to be a little bit off.
And once again, not knowing the conditions, was this taken when it was cold? Was he, we don't have enough data to know, is it a one-shot color camera? Is it a monochrome camera?
Yeah.
What did he say it was? It was
But I love the 03 in this.
Oh,
I love
absolutely.
the-
Look at that.
I love the 03.
nice and blue.
Yep.
He didn't say which camera it was, but he also said it's also a work in progress.
Yep.
Okay.
No, absolutely. It's a beautiful image. Good composition.
Also, okay, this is with the 180 MC.
Yeah, it's
183.
it's an MC Pro.
And see that again, this is what we're talking about.
So it's the Extreme again. So
yeah, and this is when we're talking about the well depth.
Yes, full well.
Same exact thing.
Yeah,
Exact
the
same thing.
But you may want to, like we said in the beginning of this, especially with the 183 and what is it, a 15.3 well depth?
Yes.
15K. The whole thing with that is that your stars, no matter what, they're going to get oversaturated very quickly.
Very quickly.
Okay. So what you would do is take the L Extreme out, take some data just for star color, take 30-second, 1-minute shot, whatever it is, do your star mask, take the nebula out, or just add the stars right to the photo. Right? It's very simple. And I'm going to grab that link right now. If you give me a second, guys.
Okay, yeah. Sure.
I'm going to grab that link from Sean Nielsen on how to replace stars at visible dark. So give me a second. I'll grab it. You guys can talk for a second. I'll grab that and throw it up there.
Yeah, that's one of the big things, with when you have these cameras that have such a small well depth. Even the like the 1600, the 1600 has a relatively small well depth too, doesn't it? I think that was an example of another one that had a kind of a small well depth would be like the ASI 1600.
The MC.
No, the mono.
Yep.
I
I
believe.
think they're the same. I think they're the same chip, but
Yeah.
let's see. The 1600 has 20,000. Yeah, so
Still, it's very
yeah,
fairly
very
small. Well
fairly
depth.
small. Yep.
You know, it's just those type. You know,
Is that
these
that's a
older-
14? That's a 14-bit chip, isn't it?
The 1600.
Yeah. Is that a
12.
14?
12.
12. Oh yeah, 12.
12.
That's why, it's so funny when people ask and say, what's the best camera I can get? I always tell them, get the one with the highest bit depth, the highest full well capacity, the largest quantum efficiency, and the lowest read noise, and make sure it's cooled. Those are the 5 criteria to choose the right camera.
Yeah, because the 183 is a 12-bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely, Gideon, if you get up to a 16-bit, you'll see a marked improvement that you'll be able to push that exposure up, and you'll have a much greater full well capacity.
Yeah. For sure.
Let's see.
But overall,
yeah.
I like the competition. The
Yeah.
competition is very well.
Yeah,
It's,
I like it. I like the framing and everything. I mean,
Yep.
it's just a bit, bit dark on the back end, on the background, and trust me, it's these are one of the things that you'll learn. To get accustomed to the camera. It'll take a little bit of time. And to understand and trust me, once you start working with certain targets and you slow things down and just experiment and say, all right, instead of, like this, I'm not sure how long the exposure times were, cut it in half. Okay. Or go down to 3/4 of what you did. And then just take a bunch of photos like that, going like 3/4 of your original exposure time.
Yep.
And remember your histogram. You can have that really. It doesn't have to be so far. Off the left. It can be pretty darn close. In your ADU, you can have that average ADU could be 1,200 or lower or something like that. But you can have that. So keep it on that histogram, but experiment. That'd be one of the biggest things I would say. Experiment and try it with the exposure. Cut it by 75%, and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, so I sent that link up. So the link is up there for the Sean Nielsen video.
Okay.
And that it's a 9-minute video, but when he actually puts it together, it literally takes like a couple of seconds. You put, as long as you got that RGB data to add to your narrowband data, because you're using the L Extreme here, right? Take the L Extreme out, get some RGB data, follow the video, and you'll have nice color stars in no time.
Yeah.
But
what do we got next?
Maybe
time for one more.
I think that's the last one, actually.
Okay.
I think that I'll double check real quick. Yeah, that's the last one. Gideon Sanders. We got a deck issue from Puppet Master.
So Gideon, take RGB star data on top of the narrowband data. Yes,
that's the video I just sent out there. Yep. So absolutely, especially if you don't if you take a look at the video, the picture behind me, you'll see I did not do that here. I did not. This is before I learned that trick. So I'll eventually add. This is a narrowband picture of NGC 7000. This is, and you see the stars. They're all kind of gold or white or whatever. So if I, once I put the RGB stars on, then you'll see the RGB stars. But right now, I don't have that data on there, so everything looks yellow gold.
Carol has a question. Could you prioritize the top 5 criteria for selecting a camera?
No.
Some have one high or low criteria. Where does the sample size come in?
Well, what you want to do, first of all, is you want to get image scale. That's the first thing you do. So to base a camera, you need to base it on the image scale with the focal length of your scope. So Carol, I'm going to give you a formula here. So let me know when you're ready. You get a pen and paper, and this is very simple. But image scale, is expressed as arc seconds per pixel. And that's equal to 206.265 times the pixel size of the camera in microns divided by the focal length. What you want to do is you want to have an image scale between 0.8 and 2 arc seconds per pixel. If you're under 0.8, the term's called you're oversampled. If you're greater than 2 arc seconds, you're undersampled. So now once you get the pixel size you need, every camera manufacturer will tell you what their pixel size is. Then you want to look at the 5 criteria of the camera. You want to get a 16-bit. You want to get the greatest full well capacity. The higher the number, the better the camera. Quantum efficiency. What quantum efficiency is that for every 100 photons that are incoming, how many gets converted into a signal? So the higher the QE value, the better the camera. The lower the read noise, the better the camera. And you want to make sure that you get a cooled camera. Do never get a non-cooled camera because you want to keep the camera at about -10 to -15 degrees Celsius.
Celsius, yep.
So look at the image scale first, based upon the focal length of your scope, make that calculation, and then look at the pixel size, and then base that pixel size on those 5 criteria, and that'll be the right camera for your particular scope.
Yep.
Okay, so now I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna mess up with Pete again. I'm gonna mess with you a little bit. So again, we've said a number of times how lazy I am. So if you didn't have a pen and you didn't get a chance to write down, you could go here and put in your pixel size, your focal length, your pixels array, and it'll tell you what your pixel scale is.
Yep.
Your image scale is. This is Celestial Wonders. And it's a calculator for you for exactly what Pete said. Pete's a lot smarter than many of us, including anybody I know. I just go there and I put it in there. And you need to use the image scale if you're thinking about using anything like Sequence Generator Pro, Nina, any sort of Astro acquisition software. You're going to need to do that, especially when you're doing framing. So it's going to be real interesting. So you can just literally put in your pixel size. So let's say it's 3.8. Your focal length, maybe that's 400 millimeters. And let's say you're 3300 by 4480 or whatever. And then you calculate it. And that's your image scale. Your image scale is 1.9 arc seconds per pixel. And to Pete's point, 1.9 isn't too ugly. It's getting close to the edge.
Yep, you're still okay. You're
still
fine.
okay.
Here, guys, I'm going to make it real simple for you, Carol. Let me share my screen.
Oh, that's part 2.
There.
But we have there's a little bit more to this that a lot of people
because
don't know.
but going off because your calculation, your resolution formula, it's already calculated in.
Yeah.
So only reason I use this one, because it has so much more, that you can do, and it's a little bit easier. So you can choose, okay, if you decide on the type of telescope you want, you can throw in that telescope.
What Carol's got is her image scale right now is 3.1. So she's definitely
over.
Definitely over. So she has to definitely go in and do drizzle.
Yeah.
Dithering's not going to do anything, but because what happens is it's a combination that the smaller the pixel size, the better the resolution, but you sacrifice sensitivity. The larger the pixel size, the less resolution, but you get sensitivity. So you got to have a fine balance. And so people always say, well, Pete, what is sensitivity? Sensitivity is the term called binning. And binning is going to be associated with your scene conditions. So in other words, we know that when scene conditions are bad, and we've seen Sirius at night, you've seen Sirius where it's scintillating, it's moving around, and you can see every pretty color from red, green, blue to whatever. That tells us that that star is occupying a lot of pixels. We want to keep that star within a certain pixel area. So let's say that our scene conditions are between 1 and 2 arc seconds. We can bin then at 1 or 2 by 2 binning. If we're at, say, 3 to 4 arc seconds, then we need to increase the pixel size, meaning we increase the sensitivity
Correct.
to make sure that that star is going to be within those adjacent pixels. So now we've been 3 by 3. If it's above 5 arc seconds, the scene conditions, you don't even want to image. You just want to either just do visual or just stay home and drink brandy, because you could have 25 adjacent pixels. It's going to be so bloated, it's not even worth going out to try to image. So that's what sensitivity and resolution is. It's a combination of the pixel size with the sensitivity. So it's a combination, as you said, looking at the image scale and getting the right pixel size camera.
Yeah.
I just want to go back 1 second. So dithering and drizzling are really good for undersampled stars, which are the blocky stars.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that that's. I think you said it a little backwards. I think.
Well, no. What it is the indication that when you're oversampled, you're going to get bloated stars.
Correct.
It's good to get bloated stars because in star shrink, you can shrink them down.
Right.
If you get blocky looking stars because now you're undersampled,
Right.
there's nothing you can do. Dithering can't do anything. You can maybe do a little bit in drizzling, and that's post-processing is drizzling.
But in order to use drizzling, you have to be well dithered.
Well, yeah, typically, and there's a calculation to determine the best dithering. See, a lot of people will dither every individual exposure. I typically just drizzle, or I typically dither every third image.
Yeah. Same here.
Yep. And so I try to say, okay, I'm going to calculate what my calculation is and say PhD or whatever, because remember, dithering occurs on the guide camera.
Correct.
Right.
So what you want to do then is you got to get the image scale of the guide camera and get the image scale to your primary camera. And then you have to determine what that difference is. And then you say, okay, if I want to say dither 15 arc seconds. And so what I will do next week is I'll get that calculation, Dan, I'll get it to you. And then you can post it for everybody to see.
Yeah.
But typically you want to kind of dither at least maybe 15 to 20 arc seconds, or pixels. Between 15 and 20 pixels. Otherwise, you get that walking noise that we talked about earlier in some of those issues. So definitely you want to dither at least every third image. If you can decide to dither every image, it just means your exposure time is going to be a lot longer because you're going to be dithering every image. So,
Every image. Yeah.
Because I got to tell you, I when I was using the S-Big camera, the STF 8300, with my Esprit, not a well-matched getup by any means. I was super undersampled.
Yep.
Way undersampled. I mean, it was like 0.8 or something like. It was pretty bad. Blocky stars all over the place. It was just not a good matchup. But I gotta tell you, doing the drizzle and drizzle integration on PixInsight, that's what this is. The stars are rounded. You get the resolution, so you get some of the resolution back, and it worked out very well.
Yep. So remember, when your ideal image scale is between 0. Some people say 0.7, some people say 0.8. I just say 0.8 to 2 arc seconds.
Yep.
It's not exact. You can push it up to 2.5. You can push that down to say 0.65. Mm-hmm. The only time you want to get less than 0.65 if you're doing planetary work, because you got to get the resolution. When you're doing the festoons and the bands, you got to get more resolution. So you want to get a smaller pixel camera for planetary work. But the sweet spot ideally for what we do for galaxies and DSOs is between 0.8 and 2 arc seconds. Now, once you get above greater than 2 arc seconds, let's say you get up to 2.8, you get up to 3.4, 3.5, that's now when you're going to definitely be undersampled. And the telltale sign is that if you look at your stars, they're not round and tight, they're going to be blockish looking.
Yep.
The only choice you can do to assist is to do the drizzle in post-processing.
Correct.
In post-processing, you may be able to, depending upon how great that image scale is, above 2.0 or 2.5. That's why, as I said, if you're going to be less than 0.8, the telltale sign is your stars are going to be bloated. But with star shrink software, I'd rather have bloated stars because I can shrink them down in post-processing. Because once they're blockish, then, as I said, you've got to do how many iterations on drizzling to be able to see if you can get them back into that roundish kind of a phase.
Oh, my drizzle took on my old computer took me, if I was doing like, I don't know, 200 subs, because you got to do it before you integrate.
Exactly. So you must have been spending.
I'll tell you, listen, but I just want to let people know that, it's not that you can't do anything about it. It's just you will spend a lot more time in post than need to be.
Exactly.
Because I will sit there and I'll tell you, unless you got a computer like I have now, right now I'm dealing with a Ryzen 9, 128 gig of RAM, 16 core processor, using CUDA for drizzle, and everything. It still took, my old computer took me, I think about 7 or 8 hours.
Yep.
To do the drizzle on all 3 channels if I was doing narrowband.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would take me, if I was doing all 7 channels, it would take me, 2 days.
I know.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's why I figured, you know what? And we talked about this earlier. How much time do you want to put into post-processing?
Exactly.
I mean, we can become OCD on it, and literally you can spend hours and hours and hours. And at what point do you say, okay, now I'm getting artifacts? You can really start to induce a lot of artifacts. So, it's like garbage in, garbage out. If you do it right the first time, you're going to be fine. If you don't do it right the first time, then you got to clean up garbage. And boy, that's when you spend a lot of time in post-processing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Chris, could I get Pete's feedback on the link on the Discord, please? Let's see. I got too many. You got to give me, let's see. You got to give me what channel on the Discord, man? I got like 5 channels on a Discord. Caliber King. I'm not sure if that's him or not. George Lutch's video. You got to give me more information on that. I don't know where. Somebody's asking you a question regarding. Chris is asking you a question regarding something, but I can't find the question.
Well, Dan, if you want, I mean, you could just put my work-related email. So if they want to just reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to help them out.
AP channel. It's what is that? Advanced? Oh, Caliber King. Okay, thank you. I didn't know that was you. Okay, so Caliber King. Here we go. We do have another picture here. It's on AstroWorld's My Last Serious Shot by Chris Fierce. Chris, this guy puts up great pictures. So Chris is a really good. He did take some really good images. So
yeah.
This is NGC 7822 in SHO.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at this definition at the tip right here.
Yep.
Wow. Look at box globules to the left. See it? See
right.
See the small right just to the left of where you were showing me on those little tips. If you can zoom in, remember the tips you were just showing me? You see just to the left in the blue area, you see the little globule box. They call them box globules. See, they're kind of moving from the left to the right. Oh, wow. Look at that. That is absolutely spectacular. Look at the detail in there.
I love the star color.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Absolutely.
The
gorgeous.
Looks great. The star color looks great. That looks really good. I want to see this right here. That's what I want to see.
That would be gorgeous on a metal print.
Yeah. Look at the detail in here of the wisps.
Oh, just spectacular.
That's a really good shot.
I mean, look at the O2 areas, O3, excuse me. Look at that right in there. Look at that. It's just gorgeous.
Yep.
That's really good, Chris. That's awesome.
Oh man, that I would definitely print that out and make a metal print.
And he's got one more too.
Which one? What? Hey, can you go back to the tech card? I want to see the tech card.
So 102 William Optics with a
Okay.
2600 on an iOptron SEM 60. Chroma filters.
Nice. 10 minutes, 28 hours.
28 hours. Yep.
Yeah. Just goes to show you, boy, if you give enough time, it's incredible to see the photons that you capture if you just give it enough time.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. Was this a portable setup, I wonder?
Well, it's on a CEM 60.
Yeah. I mean, it's a William Optics 102. Yeah,
Yep,
it's a portable
102.
setup. Gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful image.
Yep. Nice, Chris. Really, really nice, man.
First HDR start. Loom
HDR.
only. Loom
Yep.
only. Core at 5 seconds.
Okay. Look at there.
Yeah.
See?
I can see it. I can see it.
There it is.
There's the trapezium right there.
Yeah. What's the scope?
Probably the 102 again, but let's check.
Oh, the William Optics 102. So that's 5 seconds. Yeah.
Actually, this is in from the Astro bin. This is let's see. How do I'll close it out. Come on. I don't know why it's not closing out, but okay. Oh yeah, because it was in Discord. That's why.
Yeah, 102. So that's what a 5.9.
Yeah, this is from a Google Drive. So
Okay.
So, not sure what scope it is. I'm going to assume it's the 102 again.
Yeah.
But
so once again, that's 5 seconds for the core. So I mean, yeah, don't listen to what I said. 30 seconds. Go 5 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
That
For
vocal
sure.
ratio. Yeah.
that looks really good.
All right. So I think you found your spot as far as,
Yeah, look at
the
that.
core. Look at that.
I love that. I love that. That's going to be awesome when you add that all together.
Yep.
Look at the detail all over through here.
You know what that reminds? Doesn't that remind you of a heart? I can see the atriums and the ventricles at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a heart?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, M42 does remind me of a heart. It really does.
Don't call it the heart nebula. You'll confuse
No.
People.
So it's luminance. It's a GT102, 5, 10, and 30-second exposures.
Yeah. So he's right there at almost 7. So I mean, if that's 5 second exposure and you don't blow out the core, and that's 5 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, at F7, definitely just push it and do an HDR.
Yep.
At 5 seconds.
That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be beautiful. That's going to be a gorgeous image.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's going to be great. Keep going with that, man.
Yep.
Hey, Chris, we want to see the finished image when you get it completely done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right. Well, guys, it's 10:45.
Yeah.
We said a half an hour more. We went 45 minutes more. So
I'm calling it a night myself personally.
So let's just do just a quick wrap up. As you see on the bottom, again, don't forget about the drawing for the Neptune Cam from Player One. $5 chance to win a camera with the infrared cut filter. And for all you guys thinking I'm making money on this, because I got somebody say, I'm not making any money on this. This all goes to the next raffle. All this money goes to the next raffle because this was the donation from Tyler at Explore Scientific. So all that money goes to the next raffle. So we got a nice little kitty right now. We got about $150 in the kitty for the next raffle. So next raffle, bigger prizes. So nice stuff. After that, on February, was it 7th or 9th? Let me see.
It's the 9th.
It's the 9th, right?
Yep.
February 9th. Okay, there you go. I put it on the bottom. Upcoming guests, we got Dr. Sass from iTelescope, who's going to give us a nice rundown on all of his new scopes and his new products. And for those of you guys, though, and people that don't know what iTelescope does, is that you can rent time on any of his telescopes, many telescopes over the entire world, both hemispheres, and you get data for objects that maybe you're not able to see. Like we did a challenge, and we did the Tarantula Nebula with it. Can't see the Tarantula Nebula from New York, so we rented time on one in Chile, and we got time there, so that was nice. We're going to be getting Hendrik from Star Aid coming very soon as he reschedules. And then we're going to have Filippo Tomanomar from Prima Luce Lab coming in March. So that's going to be awesome. Other than that, I think that's all there is to say tonight. I think my voice is starting to go already. I can't. And I ran out of wine. And that was it. But Pete, thanks for jumping on, man.
Yeah, man.
Pleasure
Absolutely.
as usual.
Always a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, man. It's great, to have this kind of it's a wealth of information on all sides.
Yeah.
It's great and learn more about the people and everything. So thank you for all the watchers and everything that we got a couple of new subscribers tonight. So thank you. And again, for all you that have shown your pictures and thrown yourself out there, thank you again as well for sharing your data with us. So
absolutely.
Hey, Dan, if I can ask maybe if who's still around, guys, maybe send Dan what it is that you'd like for us to do.
Yeah.
I mean, give him some ideas, and Dan will put together, and between the four of us, we'll definitely figure out what to do.
Yep.
There you go. And you can send any information you want right there for now, because it looked like my other email's not forwarding correctly.
And then Dan, can you put Eric's email address and your email address, my email address? Because I'm sure a lot of people have questions to kind of reach out to all of us. So we should definitely incorporate that.
The AstroWorld server email, is that still up?
It's still up, but it's acting funny right now. So I'm gonna give, what is it? Peter 3257.
No, just use the telescopes.net. That's the Woodland Hills. Yeah.
Peter at telescopes.net.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Eric, give me yours, just so.
Just eric.watson28@comcast.net.
All right. Watson28.
Yep. At comcast.net.
Hey, Dan, Bob brought up a good point. Should we create like a suggestions channel?
Why not?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Throw it out there.
And that way, then we
on Discord. Yeah, throw it out there on Discord. Yep.
That stinks. I can only do one at a time.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll figure out another way to do it. Maybe I'll throw it up here in the name. But those are the email addresses. And then when we get the AstroWorld server back up and running, Peter I'll get you an email address too for AstroWorld, if you could get that as well.
Cool. All right, guys.
All right.
This has been a great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, thanks for coming on, man.
Yep.
See you later, Eric. Take care, Dan.
Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
Oh, man. Oh.
Good show, man.